Hello and welcome to the third and final day of the Victorian 2025 Metropolitan Long Course Championships. I'll be your commentator, Elliot Rogerson. We've got a bit of a mix-up here with Kalia Marsh and Sean Whitaker, just organising who's going to be the announcer for the day. But all that matters is that I'm here, we're ready to go. We thank our sponsors, Mattioli, Beyond Bank, Mountain Shade, Auto Coach, Funky Trunks and Swim Merch. And we say hello to everyone on the YouTube channel or on KO Freebies. We look forward to a packed session. We're starting off with two 1500s, the women's and the men's. Now, luckily enough, we were able to merge the two this morning for the heats. However, we've got the fastest heat of each now for the final. We've got a packed heat. Unfortunately, the microphone seems to be having a bit of a problem, so we just got a small technical delay while we wait for the welcome to the referees and officials on pool deck. It has been a great competition so far. We've seen many national times achieved by those that may not have necessarily had them. Kids fist pumping to the crowds and their parents, and to all those at home who might be watching their sons, daughters, nieces, nephews, families, friends. Hopefully you are being excited by what is happening here at the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre. We are there at the outdoor pool in the beautiful city of Melbourne. As we scan over the pool here, the girls are patiently waiting for the start of this 1500. What I'm liking is that Dakota Mather's still sitting behind the blocks, making sure she stays warm. It is very crucial that these athletes actually stay warm before their race. Now, we've got a nice hot day here in Melbourne, but lovely to meet you, Kalia Marsh. Nice of you to be here.
Absolute pleasure to be here for our third and final day of competition here at the 2025 Mattioli Metropolitan Long Course Championships. We are just having some issues with our microphone, so we are ready to get underway. It will be just moments before we take off on the blocks for our 1500. I'm sure the girls aren't minding too much because at least we do have these incredible conditions for us tonight. So no one's too cold, everyone's having a good time, and everyone's ready to race tonight. It's going to be a fun night of finals.
The problem with having this long break before 1500 is you already don't want to do the 1500 and you're thinking about how much you don't want to do it while you're sitting there not doing it.
I think that's definitely an interesting take. There's certainly always going to be some athletes who
got the microphone
dread
working.
This event, but there are also a few who have had quite incredible comps so far, and I think we are ready to get underway.
Our referee from our female events is Emily Simzik. Our referee for our male events is Margaret Arnold. Our starter for the finals this evening is Harold Gustav. And our technical director is Heather O'Connor.
As we just see our technical officials introduced for tonight, what an incredible job these guys do. They make our meet official, so all these times can be those qualifying times for national championships, which we've seen so many achieved across the weekend. But it is really, really long hours, and they volunteer their time, so a massive, massive shout out to our technical officials. We are ready to get underway with our first event on the program. It is event 107, the women's 1500 metre freestyle. This was a timed final, so our fastest heat, our top 10 athletes, are racing this afternoon. We saw a few of them race this morning.
Female 12 and over. In lane 0, Lucy Sadler. Lane 1, India Condon. Lane 2, Emily Doyle. Lane 3, Alana Cummings. Lane 4, Dakota Mathers. Lane 5, Madison Cooper. Lane 6, Grace Richards. Lane 7, Amy Bai. Lane 8, Bethany Forster. Lane 9, Isabel O'Rourke.
The beautiful thing about the 1500 freestyle is there are an absolute boatload of ways to swim it. You could think of it as 3 500s that you want to build into. You could think of it as 5 300s as an even smaller but more gradual build. You could think of it as 100, I don't know what comes after that, and then 3 100s at the end. It's all very individual as to how you want to swim it. My personal philosophy was 100 get into the race, 13 100s of whatever you want, and then 100 metres of fast. Usually did the trick. Either way, it's a lot of pain at the end. There's a very interesting quote from Mac Horton back in the day, back when he used to do his 1500s, where he said as soon as it hit the 600 metre mark, he was ready to give up, and that was when he did a 14:35, I believe it was, or something ridiculously fast like that. So these guys are going to be in a lot of pain for a lot of time for our viewing pleasure. We see Cooper Madison go around after the first 100 metres, followed by Dakota Mathers and Alana Cummings in third position. Big events for most of these girls. Now, also interestingly, we had some good swims this morning. Some nice solid PBs, and medals for this event aren't always just the 12 and over category. They are actually divided into those age groups that we see during the program. So there is a 12-13 age group, there's a 14-15 age group, and there's a 16 and over age group. So these two girls in the middle will be going face to face, looking at each other, trying to win that 16 and over age group. The majority of the girls that you see in this race are around that 17 to 20 years old. So you have two 14-year-olds on the top of your screen and a 13-year-old at the bottom. So they're all in the same age group. And then the rest of the field: Bethany Forster, Grace Richards, Madison Cooper, Dakota Mathers, Alana Cummings and Emily Doyle, all battling it out for those times. Now, I'll have to check this morning as to what the fastest heat time was, because we did have the amalgamation of the boys and girls fastest heat, or sorry, the second fastest heat, I should say, the fastest heat being swum tonight. And following this race, we do actually have the boys' fastest heat in the 1500 metre freestyle. Hopefully we can get all of the girls in this race under that elusive 20-minute mark. We saw a couple of them this morning. I believe I was talking to one of the Cheltenham coaches. One of the athletes PB'd her 400, 800 and 1500 all in the same race. So anything is possible for these young athletes. I remember my 50 butterfly PB used to be based off whatever I'd do at the start of a 200 IM. And sometimes my 100 butterfly would be based off the start of a 400 IM. So you can always set a PB, similar to at the start of a relay. You can actually set a new personal best, or maybe even, if you're good enough, a state record, because it is an official time. You'll often also see some of these athletes, you definitely saw quite a few yesterday in the 400 freestyle, going for 100 or maybe even 200 metre times, trying to set themselves a new personal best, or maybe even try and achieve a national time. The one thing you can't do is stop at the end of the wall. You must complete the race distance. So you always have to be moving. So you'll see these athletes touch the wall and immediately push off and start the next race. Or sorry, the next part of the event, whether that is the last 300 or the last 200 metres. Through the 400 metre mark, though, Cooper Madison still with that 1 second lead over Dakota Mathers. You wonder whether Dakota's strategy is to just stick on her hip and maybe make a move in that second 500. That is the most common way of swimming this. But around that 4:30 mark would lead them to... Oh, actually, sorry, I've got to wait for a 500 before I start doing mathematics in my head. But currently they're sitting around a 108, maybe a 109 kind of pace. And per 50, they're around that 35. We're already starting to see Dakota actually come up alongside her. Unfortunately, the camera's not switching. There it is. We can see starting to come up alongside her. However, Madison Cooper's replied pretty quickly. Just pulled out a little bit of a buffer again as they look right at each other going into this next lap. Both athletes around the 35 mid to 35 low range. Looks like Dakota has better skills than Madison Cooper. Obviously, 1500 isn't all about skills, but it is so important. If you can save yourself half a second off of every wall, everyone has to do a turn, and you have to do 29 turns in the race. If you can save yourself half a second every single time you do it, it's going to save you about 15 seconds in the overall race. And that's 15 seconds of energy in the swim that you don't necessarily have to use. There's also a good race going on there over in lanes 1 and 2 between Emily Doyle and India Condon. Now, I wonder if this is part of a coach just saying, you've got a good swimmer on your inside, just stick with them for as long as possible and hope that Emily Doyle can drag India Condon through to a good race. So, 10th place there, Isabella O'Rourke, 6:37, so that, based off rough calculations, will equate to roughly 19 minutes and 50 seconds or so. So if she can go 19 minutes, 50 seconds, that would be a lovely personal best for her, taking 20 seconds off her entry time at least. As we get Carlia back on the microphone, it's been a hectic first 12 minutes of the day for you, hasn't it?
It's been full on. You know, we've had a really massive weekend and we've kick-started our final night. There's so much going on around pool deck here at the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre for our third day of competition. We've had some fantastic swims. We've had absolute incredible lineup on our commentary. We've been really fortunate to have so many people joining us. We had Nicholas Layton, one of our incredible S15 deaf athletes on night one, who came along on board. We had Nick Valiartis, we've had Tegan Mills, we've had Jack Gurry, who else? Sam Mills. It's been really exciting. Nick Baker, how could we forget the Bakes? So we've had a great lineup, and I've actually just been helping introduce Sian Whittaker, one of our incredible Victorian level athletes who also competed for Australia on the international scene. She's now part of our commentary team, and tonight we're switching roles. So you may have seen me on announcing the last few nights, and I'm back on the comms, but Sian has ever so graciously taken my place as announcer. So very appreciative to her. But these are really exciting things to see. It's these swimmers who are transitioning from our competitive programs within Victoria and staying within the sport, and that really excites me.
Yeah, the people that we've had on have all represented Australia, with Nick Layton, Jordan Merrilees and Sian Whittaker. I'm wondering what I'm doing here at this point.
Have you not represented Australia, Elliot?
Not on the Dolphins.
Because I have.
Oh, far out. I'm really behind
I hate
then.
to inform you.
I really, oh dear.
But you might be letting the team down.
It sounds like I am.
You are. No, just kidding. You've been an absolute asset for us across this weekend, and we're very thankful for your time. But it definitely is as we look to our 1,500 metre freestyle for our female athletes. And I was actually quite excited about this because a lot of these girls have been really racing at a top tier level. Dakota Mathers, she's so incredible at that open water, so we knew that she was going to be doing well in these distance events. I saw her sort of scratch herself from a few of those shorter races earlier today. Probably, I would imagine, to focus a little bit more on this 1,500. She's our leader at the moment, and following her around is Maddie Cooper. Now, Maddie is one of our incredible athletes. She's been really sort of on the scene for a lot of time now, but it's great to see her doing personal best. So she's a bit of one of our older athletes who we have in this event at 20 years of age, which is still very young, I might just add. But it's nice to see her actually PBing. So she did some fastest times that she's done over the last few years in the 100 and the 200. I'm really keen to see what she can do here in the 15. She did get second at the Peter Pub earlier this year. So always really exciting. We see those athletes. We know they can perform in the second half of the race. And she'll be looking to try and maybe close that gap on Dakota. And then sitting in third, we've got Alana Cummings, who's a real up-and-comer in this event as well.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I think that Dakota's actually pulled away quite a bit in this. You were busy with working out the technicalities on the mic and whatnot, but Madison was, I believe, 1 second ahead at the 500 metre mark, and Dakota has made a massive move in this second 500. As I was talking about the other race that we had going on over there in lanes 2 and 1, just wondering whether the coach has said, India, sit on Emily's tail, she'll carry you through to a good quality time. Maybe try and beat her in that last 100, get those competitive juices flowing. But that is a good swim over there from her. And there seems to be a bit of a gap here as well. There was a much close-up between lanes 6 and 7. So Grace and Amy, looks like Grace has just moved up a little bit in the rankings.
You know, we kind of, make jest at those, stick with someone or follow that cab kind of scenario. But it really does help pull a lot of our athletes through in these races. So if you take a look at Emily, she's 17 years of age, and India just 14. It's actually a really great race plan. If you're trying to stick with someone that little bit older, a little bit more experienced at these longer distance races, it's actually, it's going to work in your benefit, especially if they do have those race plans underway. They've controlled it. They know what they're doing. They are someone that you want to stick with. And something that I think we do really well in Victoria is we have these incredible kind of leaders in our Mackenzie Hunters, and even Dakota Mathers as one of our more senior athletes at 19 years of age. She's come through that Pathways program and really been dominant in distance events for so long. If you are a younger person, of course, you're going to look up to these people. And if you can try and stick with them, what a race plan to have. I really think it's going to work in your benefit.
Exactly. As we see Dakota start to take over the majority of this pack, sitting pretty close together, actually. So you've got the first three well out in front. But from 4th through to about 7th, they're all sitting within that 4 seconds. So they're not entirely too far apart.
I think 1500s, you want to be close to someone. It is a much more challenging race to race on your own. So Dakota has kind of the hard yards ahead of her now. She's out in front. She has to try and maintain that pace and keep the pressure on. And luckily she does have that experience in her back pocket that she can refer to. But certainly for a few of the girls in this field, like you take Amy by, she's only 12.
Yeah.
So I think she's got an incredible distance future ahead of her to be competing in this event in the top 10 at this point in her career. We've also got, Isabel O'Rourke, just 13, a couple of 14-year-old girls with India and Lucy. All of those girls, they have someone to look up to. and I think that's going to be really beneficial to them. But they have room to learn, whereas if you're out in front, you've got to really take that information that you have gathered over the last few years and put it into play.
Yeah, it's about settling into that rhythm, and the word rhythm cannot be understated. It is a rhythm, and if you got any of these girls to sit and stay on the wall for 5 seconds, it'd break their rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you might think, oh, that's some good rest. It actually hinders you more than it helps you. So we're seeing some good quality swimming from Dakota Mathers. What I'm enjoying is the fact that you saw in the first 500, she was sitting around those mid to high 35-second range. Now in this last 500, just about all of her splits seem to be in and around that 34-second range. So it shows that what I love is when you can see an athlete's game plan. They've actually said, this is what I want to do to the coach, or the coach has said, this is what I want to see you do, and then going out and executing it. It's a whole different ball game, especially by yourself. The classic quote from Mike Tyson is, everyone's got a plan till they get punched in the face. Until you actually dive in and you're 500 metres and you realise, oh, damn, I've got a whole kilometre to go. It takes someone really mentally strong to actually stick to what they know and stick to how they want to swim it. So we're actually coming down here. I believe there's going to be 4 laps to go now, or about 3.5 with where Dakota is at. So we're already almost coming to the end of it.
Over and done in a flash, the first event of our third night of racing here at the 2025 Mattioli Victorian Metropolitan Championships. I do enjoy, we are in a great spot to see and hear our coaches on the deck, and you can see, I think it's a really good sign if the coaches are quiet. It means that the athletes are they are following that plan. If you see them getting a little bit starting to bring in the motions of pick up the pace and things, there's a bit of work to be done. But I've looked over to Team Nunawading for Dakota Mathers, and they're looking cool, calm and collected. So I think they're quite happy with this swim. If you compare it to that of Maddie Cooper's team, every time she comes in towards the wall, they think she's got more in the tank. So they are sort of cheering her along, showing her that symbol of bring in more kick. You can see Ian over there. Bring in the legs. They think she's got more there. She has had a great meet, so I would expect her to start to lift now. There's
a lot being done by the MLC coaches over here as well. So you're starting to wonder, how close is she aiming for a time? 17:55 is the open time for the 1500. So I'm just trying to figure out Alana Cummings.
If I kind of look before, they turned it around the 15, just over 15 for Dakota, 15 minutes at 200 metres left. And they're holding sort of that 110 pace. So she's looking around that 17:15, 17:20, I think, based on where she is at the moment. So, yeah, probably more like 17:20 pace as she comes down to the finish. So we need to be within 30 seconds of that. So Alana turned at, 16:40?
Yeah, it doesn't look like she's going to get under that 17:55.
She's just going to be over, but...
But how close is she to her? She's going to go well under her PB if she holds this pace. An excellent swim from Dakota Mathers there. And we got Madison Cooper with a massive 6-beat kick, head down for the last 3 metres, finishing at a 31.9.
So I think that's what the coaches were trying to say. If you can come home in a 31, you should probably have a little bit more in the tank a few 100s earlier. Still a great swim, obviously, nonetheless, for Madison Cooper, 17:32. Dakota, our winner there, 17:22.66. Really strong for night 3 of competition. It's a great time, and a lot of the girls now just getting that ballast. Alana Cummings on her final lap.
In saying that, we've got 2 great races on opposite sides of the pool. So India Condon and Emily Doyle, this is exactly what I was talking about. Do you sit on the hip of an older athlete and then try and just beat him in that last little bit? It's a great race going on down there. And we also have a great battle over there between Grace Richards and Bethany Forrester. However, the last 5 metres here, and that is 3rd position for Alana Cummings. Just outside her PB. See, this is always devastating when you do a whole 1500 just to be out by 2 seconds.
It's certainly a tough race, 100%. It's a 30-lap event. There are a lot of turns, a lot of moments that if you just leave the pedal off for that 1%. It all adds up. And to actually be that close to your time on day 3 of competition is really, really solid and impressive effort. And what a tight finish we did see there with Emily Doyle. It looks like age has kind of overcome those youngsters, but she really dragged along India there. 18:59 for Emily Doyle, 19:00.39 for India, and it's a 30-second personal best for the 14-year-old. So, I mean, you can't ask for much more than that.
Exactly. And even Emily Doyle, having that person there to battle against, she's gotten under the 19-minute mark. Is that, I wonder if that is her first time getting under 19 minutes, scraping under by 2/100ths of a second.
It all counts.
It's a very impressive moment. So having someone, you can just get lost in a 1500 and at the end you go, yeah, that was hard, I gave my best. But did you actually really? It's not until you have someone next to you that you want to really beat that you understand how much of an effort you need to put in.
Certainly, I think those, we talk often about the 1%ers, and in those moments, if you are out on your own, are you really giving it your all? And when you have someone next to you, it really forces you, I guess, to be accountable for your own swim. As we watch Isabel O'Rourke come in for our 10th place spot in the final of the 12 and over 1500 metre freestyle, we turn our attention now to the men.
Brilliant 4-second PB by her.
Introducing the finalists for event 108, the men's 12 and over 1500 metre freestyle. In lane 0 from Ivanhoe Swim, Tommy Golding. In lane 1 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Lachlan Payton. In lane 2 from Tiger Shark Swimming Club, William Bryan. In lane 3 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Connor Hayes. In lane 4 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Jessie Phillips. In lane 5 from Yarra Plenty Waves, Rowan Wine. In lane 6 from Bayside Swimming Club, Matthew Moran. In lane 7 from Camberwell Grammar Aquatic, Liam Paulson. In lane 8 from Swimwear's Swim Club, Patrick Forster. And in lane 9 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, William Thraves. These are the finalists for event 108, the men's 12 and over 1500 metre freestyle.
All right, we've just seen a pretty cool race from our women in the 1500 metre freestyle, and I mean, it's certainly a tough ask on the end of a 3-day competition, some really massive programs for a lot of these athletes, but it's now the men's turn. We don't want to see anyone going out too quickly. It's all about that pacing and really knowing your own training ability. Got quite the mix in our field tonight between athletes from 20 years of age all the way down to 14 years of age, with Liam Paulson from Camberwell Grammar, and he's really been kind of a standout across the weekend, really good on the skills. I think this is a fantastic opportunity for him to really be racing these older athletes. As we come down to this 100 metre mark, the bookends of our 1500. It is Rowan Wine who takes us out in a 1:00.81, so he's kind of set the pace. Jessie Phillips alongside him in lane 4. Rowan, more of that pool swimming background, loves the 400 metre freestyle, really got involved in these more distance races throughout his career as he's become more of that older age group athlete, currently 18 years of age. And next to him, Jesse Phillips and Connor Hayes, both open water athletes more specifically. So we know those guys are going to have that slightly higher stroke. They're going to sit a bit higher in the water and maybe breathe a little bit higher, as well as they do a lot more of those ocean swims and 5 to 10 kilometre races. So we hit the 200 metre mark, still in the lead. Rowan Wine, 206.93, pretty solid there. Jesse Phillips in second, 207.72. And our third place is Matthew Moran. Now, he had an incredible 800 metres on night one where he took it out very, very fast. And I think a lot of people were surprised when he was able to hold on for most of the race. Sometimes when you go out after it that much, we expect to see that drop off. But he's been able to maintain. The swimmer from Bayside, great meet for him. We've seen him in multiple finals across the weekend. Really interesting to note in this 1500, we have spoken about how it's a lot easier to have someone alongside you to push yourself along. We did see that with a couple of the girls in the previous event, and already this race is kind of broken down into our leaders of Rowan and Jesse, and then sitting in third and fourth is Matthew and Liam, very close, both on that 318. Then we look on the other side of the pool and we've got Connor and William Bryan. They're really close together. So we've already started seeing those pair-ups. It makes it a lot simpler to try and race someone that's right beside you. Those groupings becoming very clear now as we come into that 400 metre wall, and it's almost stroke for stroke between Jesse Phillips and Rowan Wine there at the turn. 4:21.26 and 4:21.49. Once again, very, very close. Nothing between third all the way through to fifth between William Bryan, who's just started to move his way through the field, Matthew Moran and Liam Paulson. If we take a look at our leaders, Rowan really led early on, but you can just see the increased stroke rate from Jesse, slightly higher than Rowan, and that's really what's pushing him through the middle part of this 1500. If we watch onto the walls, I'm really liking to see the aggression and the intensity from Rowan that he showed as he flicks his feet over onto that turn. So we're always looking in these longer distance races to see what speed that we can make that's a little bit easier without having to put in too much more effort and the payoff from it. And I certainly really think that our turns in a 1500, they can be a little bit neglected. There are so many laps that it's easy to kind of focus on the swimming and the stroke and the length of stroke. But if you can gain, 10 100ths of a second on every wall in a race that has 29 turns, I mean, that's going to add up very, very fast. I mean, I'm enjoying here in our commentary, I'm not going to call it a booth, but our commentary table, the impressive numbers that are going on from Elliot Rogerson here. He is my mathematician, always accountable for the splits and the speeds and where to look out for. He's always on national time watch, and that makes my job so much easier in these longer distance races.
70% of the time, it works every time.
And I appreciate the help, because certainly the maths on swimming isn't my strong point, but watching these athletes and getting to know them really has become part of my day job. And I do know quite a lot of the boys in this field, so this is shaping up to be a really nice race from our leaders.
What I'm looking for here is to see if I can notice what each athlete's game plan is. As we spoke about in the girls' heat, seeing that they want to build from start to finish. If I see them dropping off, okay, that might be a game plan, but it's obviously not worked. So if I see someone like Jesse Phillips dropping off, I'm knowing he's out there, he's put himself out there, he's had a crack. If he's just struggling a little bit, then the coach goes back and says, okay, that's something I need to work on. I need to give you a little bit more threshold work, or maybe a little bit more VO2 work, so that you can withstand that pressure under the blowtorch. We want to see towards the back end a lot more green times on the board than red times. Now, you at home can't unfortunately see that, but here on pool deck, we can actually see when an athlete goes faster or slower than the lap before. What I did like about Jesse Phillips in the middle there, he's got a very consistent stroke. And you might think, okay, he's got consistent propulsion. His feet are making up whatever his arms are lacking. But his feet are actually doing a lot less work than what we're seeing from Rowan Ween there in lane number 5. So Rowan's actually a bit more up and down. And you can see the propulsion from the start and the end of his legs.
Yeah, so I know that Jesse, he has more of that distance background, so really going to be light on the legs, using them as that balancing tool more than anything. Does a lot of those ocean swims. Now, Rowan Wine comes into this from more of that, and now, interestingly enough, Jesse there, he's actually gone for an 800-metre time.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he?
So you can tell that obviously by the touch. He's finished with his hand, not his feet. 8:46.08. If you want to check, he's 20 years of age, so check on that open time for the 800, and he's just outside that. So the time 8:41, he's 8:46. So I'm not sure what time he might have been going for. Maybe that one.
You say he's 20 years old?
Yes.
Ah, bugger.
Whereas Rowan, he's just turned 18. Year 12 last year. I know that he enjoyed his year 12, and he's just sort of getting back into his focus on swimming now. So not to be expected to be doing crazy PBs or things, but he's certainly swum really well this weekend, and I'm sure he's very happy with where he's at for the moment. He's just now taken over that lead, with Jesse switching off after the 800, which is kind of an interesting choice. He had such a lead at the 800 with that time.
You can have the biggest lead that you want, but if he's already got the time, like, what's his personal best going into this competition?
His PB for the 1500 metre freestyle is 16:26, so it's a 12-second lead on second, which is Rowan.
So at the end of the day, he already had that open time, so he needed that 800.
So that's why he's going for the 800.
Yeah, that would have to be why, I would have thought. The beautiful part about what he's doing now is he doesn't have to swim down afterwards. He's already doing his swim down.
This is the swim down, although I think maybe he's taken a look at the field. He's still sitting in 5th. He's still a chance for a medal here after a lap of backstroke. But Rowan Wine is obviously now your new leader. He's probably wondering what on earth is going on. Great news for him. Out in front, sitting in second, Matthew Moran, one of our younger swimmers there, 15 years of age from Bayside. Definitely has more of that sort of surf style that we're starting to see come through our pool swimming a little bit. If you look at Sam Short, his breathing technique in the 4 and the 800 is quite high, and it's kind of giving me these Matthew Moran vibes.
Well, you see, it is quite common between these distance athletes, because as we've said before many a time, rhythm. It's all about that rhythm of the stroke. And a lot of people find that by going the 1-2, 1-2. you just go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It can get monotonous. It works, but it can be quite monotonous. Someone who was very good at that was Mac Horton.
I think Mac, if you're looking for someone who is quite the technician, is always really a great swimmer to watch. It always looks really easy, and we often talk about the easier it looks if you're out in front, you must be doing something right, because if it looks easy on the surface, there's a lot going on underneath the surface, and that's where it really counts. I mean, that's where we get connection with the water and start to push ourselves forward.
Sorry, I'm just trying to do some maths here as we go around the 1,000 metre mark and just see who is trying to improve from 500 to 500. Lane 5 there, Rowan Wine, 5:28 on that first, 5:39 on the second 500.
Yeah, look, I'm not super surprised. It might be hurting a bit. If you're going to do these distance events, you really need to put in the work behind the scenes. A lot of training goes into being able to complete a super solid and well-executed 1,500 metre swim. I'm sure his parents, Ollie and Linda, won't mind me saying that, especially over the last few months at the end of the year last year, completing his Year 12 studies. But it is also important for these athletes to be people first, and you know, there is a life outside of swimming. So he's had his fun, and now we're back in the swing of things.
All right, finished doing my mathematics. Now, in my opinion, the best from the first to the second, Matthew Moran out in lane 6, 5:36 to a 5:38. So you see that all of his distance that he's put between second and third place with Liam Paulson was actually since the 500 metre mark, because they went around it together. He was the fastest in the whole heat in that second 500. Now, I'm sure that Jesse Phillips would have been on track for that at some point, but those last two 100s were obviously quite a bit slower after going out in 8:46.
I mean, you've done this probably the more coaching sort of style. I mean, I can look at the pool, and Matthew Moran has certainly made up a lot of gap on Rowan Wine here. There's less than 5 metres separating them now on this turn at the 1,300 mark. Just 200 metres to go, and the splits now, Matthew's around half a second quicker every lap. So in 400 metres, he's got, 4 seconds to make up? It could be done. He definitely has the potential to catch.
That 5:30, that means you're looking around, what would it be, 10 laps? So you're looking around 33 seconds per lap. So when we're looking up on the board, we need to see those 33s being set each time. We've got a nice close race between Jesse Phillips and Connor Hayes, so we'll see if that amounts to anything in the long run. Tell you what, I have a lot of respect for coaches now who have more than one athlete in the pool. It's been very difficult for me to try and keep track of each athlete, and I've just been keeping track of the 400, 800, the 500 and the 1,000. These guys do it every single lap, get a stroke rate every single lap. You know, it must be absolutely hectic for them 24/7. We come down to the final 100 here. Matthew Moran, great race plan. I've absolutely loved it just the whole way through. Rowan Wine has seen him coming though, has had a faster split just on that 50 alone. And Liam Paulson, we know that he's got a 100 backstroke coming up later. So he might be just feeling himself out a bit here. Does he know that William Bryan is on the other side of the pool looking right at him? The two Surrey Park teammates coming down here for the final 100 in lane 4 and 5. Jesse Phillips with the faster entry time, but put in a lot of effort around that 800-metre mark. Coming down to the final 15 metres now. Rowan Wine having a look right back. Looking all the way back at his opponent saying, hey, not catching me today. Finishes on the wall with a time of 16:46.30. Just over his PB there. Matthew Moran coming into the wall, breaking under that 17-minute mark comfortably by 10 seconds and giving himself a 6-second PB. Third place there, William Bryan over there in lane 2. He snuck up and took it from Liam Paulson. Now, these guys are the same age group as well, so that's literally going to be the difference between gold and silver. Wonder if Liam had that 100 backstroke in the back of his mind while he did that, or whether he's just going to be happy with the casual 21 second PB that he's just done. So there's no slouch of a swim. He's absolutely gassed there. As we watch coming into the wall, lane 8 here, Patrick Forrester. Finishing in a 34.0. A lot of green times for this last 50 metres here. So that's always good to see.
You're on. I've got to ask some pronunciations. I'll be back.
All right. What were your thoughts on that race as it went through?
Personally, I was watching lane 8, Patrick, with his really nice underwaters. He had a great last lap as well.
And from a coach's point of view, is that something that you enjoy seeing? You want to be happy with what is happening in training, therefore coming out and racing?
Yeah, look, teaching underwaters is always a difficult one, especially for my juniors. So watching them in a 1500, and he really kept them solid through the whole 1500, so it was really nice to see.
Those playing along at home, by the looks of it, I'm just getting some final checks here on these times. If my calculations are correct, and I like to hope that they are, my favourite swim there had to be Matthew Moran. He went a 5:36, and then 5:38, and back down to a 5:36. Very, very consistent swimming. You had Rowan Wine getting himself out there in a 5:28, dropping back a little bit for my liking, a 5:39, but kept his rhythm and had a 5:39 on his last 500 as well. So assuming that's how they wanted to swim him, that is an excellent performance from those boys. And we'll now move into event number 80, the 100-metre backstroke for the multi-class swimmers. Now, these is just the female swimmers from this morning. It was a mixed event this morning, but just to save everyone a little bit of confusion, this is the female final, and the male final will come up after them. Do you have any multi-class athletes that you take care of?
Introducing the finalists for event 80.
Yeah,
the women's
I do. I actually
100-metre
have
backstroke
5 hearing
multi-class.
impaired swim.
In lane 4 from Ivanhoe Swim, Madeline Fox. In lane 5 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Abigail Garbellini. In lane 6 from Ivanhoe Swim, Grace Ryder. And in lane 7 from Essendon, Molly Griffin. Introducing the finalists for event number 80, the women's 100-metre backstroke multi-class.
Sorry, you were saying you have 5 hearing impaired swimmers.
Yes, I do. I'm in the process of getting a few of those swimmers classified at the moment so that they can race at these events. That was a really nice start from Abigail in lane 5.
So we've seen her quite a few times, a swimmer from Nunawading.
Yes, I actually had the pleasure of coaching Abigail at Boronia Swim Club about 12 months ago. She's an awesome athlete.
Oh, wow. Just want to check if she's got what her national time is here. So 5:38 is what she needs to go under. I mean, she's walked that through in the heats. We went a 5:27 in the heats. Not even worried about trying to get under the time. We're about trying to get under a personal best.
Backstroke is one of her faves, so it would be really nice to watch her take this one home.
Obviously, got her competitor there in Grace Ryder. Is the same classification, so that means that out of these two, whoever wins will take home the gold and silver medal. However, that is between them. There could also be a gold and silver back there, depending on what FINA points are scored between the two athletes that are in lane 4s and 7.
Abigail touching there with a 1:23.36.
Excellent swim. Way under what she did this morning. It's always good to improve from heats to finals.
Yeah, she'll be wrapped with that PB.
We've got Madeline Fox and Molly Griffin coming down. I believe it was Madeline Fox I saw busting a move on the side of the pool. We had a DJ out here in the warm-up, and she was absolutely singing her heart out to Katy Perry. So well done to Madeline, getting very excited for tonight's swim, and you can see why. 1:56 there, 4 seconds faster than what she did this morning. We'll wait for the girls to clear the pool, and then they'll read out
Introducing
the
the finalists
boys.
for event number 80, the men's 100-metre backstroke multiclass. In lane 2, from Oasis Otters Swimming Club, Athan Alexopoulos. In lane 3, from Yarra Plenty Waves, Cooper Harrington. In lane 4, from Melbourne Swimming Club, James Logan. In lane 5, from Oasis Otters Swimming Club, Andrew Din. And in lane 6, from Ivanhoe Swim, Hugo Sierakowski. These are the finalists for event number 80, the men's 100-metre backstroke multiclass.
So they just did a test start there to make sure that the light works for the hearing impaired athlete in the middle. It's Logan James. Logan James, we see him like a bull in a china shop. He goes very hard early in these races, and he even goes very hard onto the wall. There's been a couple of times where he hasn't been able to judge his finish correctly and almost finished with his head. See strapping around that wrist. I wonder if that's due to him smacking his hand on the top of the wall. Lane 6 there, Hugo jumping into the pool like a Mario character. It's just obviously here to have a bit of fun and hopefully swim fast. Good start there from the boys, and we immediately see James Logan absolutely spin the wheels early and putting some distance between him and Andrew Din. Curious to see what the FINA points will be like towards the end of this race. Got Cooper and Athan on the far side. Both S14 athletes, so they directly go against each other head to head for the fastest time. You see James Logan absolutely flying through this second 50 as well. The stroke rate might have dropped a little bit, but who can blame him after that first 25 metres? Under the flags here, out in a 35.01, coming back. Oh, that's his best touch I've seen so far. Coming back in a 37.25, 112.26, and a 115.43 for Andrew Din. Great swim by those boys. Cooper Harrington over there going a 120.5, and Hugo after the Mario jump, 124. time this morning of 1:18. Just a touch slower. Sorry, I take that back. Hugo was a 1:22 this morning. Still a touch slower, though.
Still a touch slower.
But who can blame him? I don't think... Oh, thumbs up immediately. That's just a man who loves his swimming.
I love that result. A little bit over.
Introducing the finalists for
Take it on
event
the
number
chin.
81, the girls
Celebrate.
12 to 13,
Always
100-metre
celebrate.
backstroke. In
Which is what
lane
I've been
0
doing
from
for the last
Surrey
few
Park
minutes,
Swimming
just really
Club,
celebrating
Aria
swimming.
Went. In lane 1 from Melbourne Swimming Club, Amelia Leo. In lane 2 from DVE Aquatic, Zoe Macaulay. In lane 3 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Mia Huang. In lane 4 from Melbourne Vic Centre Swimming Club, Tiffany Miette. In lane 5 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Jemana Farmi. In lane 6 from Caulfield Aquatics, Zara Barr. In lane 7 from Melbourne Swimming Club, Zoe Clemenson. In lane 8 from Melbourne Swimming Club, Lucy Dolan. And in lane 9 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Zihan Jin. These are the finalists for event number 81, the girls 12 to 13, 100-metre backstroke.
All right, the girls are away now for event 81, the 100-metre backstroke for our 12, 13-year-olds. I was fortunate enough to be behind the blocks with these athletes before the start. No surprise there, Tiffany Miette. What an incredible skills person she is. She's already out early. Aria Went, the girl from Surrey Park Swimming Club. She is away quickly as well. Quick reaction and great underwater from her out in lane 0. I'm really enjoying the way the athletes on day 3, they're still having a really good time, and I think that's the main part of these competitions like our Metropolitan Championships, to see the smiles on the faces after 3 days of really hard racing. As at that 50-metre turn, Tiffany Miette, she was out in a 32.51. This morning she was out in about a 32.9, so she's about 4.4 quicker. And we did say the girls are going to need to get out faster if they want to challenge her in this 100, but they didn't quite get there, and she's really charging down this second 50. She will take the win here in the 100-metre freestyle, 108.16. Mia Huang, 109.30. And Jemana Farmi, 109.54. Yes, I said freestyle instead of backstroke. I just got excited.
That's how quick the times were.
I would be very pleased with a 108 for 100 freestyle at this point.
Introducing the finalists for event number
I'm in a
82,
freestyle
the
mode,
boys
I think,
12 to
after the
13,
1500.
100-metre
hyped me up.
backstroke. In lane 0 from Ringwood Swimming Club, Austin McNaught. In lane 1 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Peter Kim. In lane 2 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Jamie Dong. In lane 3 from St Kevin's College Swimming Club, Broderick Coyne. In lane 4 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Jacques Ismail. In lane 5 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Lachlan Harris. In lane 6 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Oscar Magalotti. In lane 7 from Cheltenham Swimming Club, Lincoln Hall. In lane 8 from Caulfield Aquatics, Oscar Zhu. And in lane 9 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Evan Nyam. These are your finalists for event number 82, the boys 12 to 13, 100-metre backstroke.
Shock. Just preparing for this race and talking about how dominant Ishaq Ismail has been across the weekend. His time this morning of a 104.66, 4 seconds ahead of the rest of the field.
absolutely dominating this early part of the race.
As we come down to this 50-metre turn, already a body length in front. That is how good this man is. 30.49 ahead of Lachlan Harris, 32.28. It's still a tight field for that second and third place, and we are seeing that slight inverted V here, though.
Yeah, the flying duck, as we like to call it. Broderick Coyne over there in lane 3, having a crack, but it looks like it's Lachlan Harris putting a bit of distance between himself and the rest of the pack. Those three boys at the front really going after it. Oscar Magalotti hasn't completely let go of it either.
But what a swim. He's went 104 this morning. He's gone 102.84 this evening. It's a dominant swim from Ishak Ismail there. Ahead of Lachlan Harris, 106.53, and Broderick Coyne in a third place finish there, 107.36 ahead of Oscar Magalotti.
Fastest of the 12-year-olds there was Lincoln Hall out in lane 7. We'll see what he can do next year.
These combined age groups, really interesting to see what the future holds.
Exactly.
Introducing the finalists for event number 83, girls 14 to 15, 100-metre backstroke. In lane 0 from Bayside Swimming Club, Imogen Murray. In lane 1 from Furbank Aquastars, Phoebe Scarf. In lane 2 from Essendon District Aquatic, Megan Lee. In lane 3 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Lucy Doyle. In lane 4 from Yarra Plenty Waves, Kiara Jeffs. In lane 5 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Sarah Olawani. In lane 6 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Lily Chan. In lane 7 from Laverton Wyndham Aquatics, Madison Baker. In lane 8 from Caulfield Aquatics, Georgie Skinner. And in lane 9 from Western Melbourne Propulsion, Romina Valages.
Underway here with the 14, 15 years, 100-metre backstroke. I think we might have quite the race on our hands between those three centre lanes. Lucy Doyle, Kira Jeffs and Zara Olawani.
I'm really liking that start from Zara. She gets nice rotation and good early purchase on the water. You can see her extend her long arms out over her head, but it looks like the high rate of Kiara Jeffs is taking over.
Kira, a really dominant performer across the weekend. She's normally super strong on the legs, so I'm actually excited to see that she looked a little bit conservative on lap 1. Didn't see a lot of white water at her feet, but there's certainly going to be that ability to bring it in down this second 50.
Sounds like the crowd's getting involved. We're starting to see quite a few people lining up along the barriers on the front side. Some of the girls jumping up and down, excited to see what their teammate can do.
We do know these 14, 15-year-olds, they are looking for those national times as well. We are aware they're up for grabs, but also the medals, because at the moment, Megan Lee out in lane 2. Looks like she might be able to sneak in for a bronze.
Oh, she's done it. What a swim from her. Coming up from 4th up to 3rd. Great improvement, and it looks like the people from Melbourne Propulsion got excited about something.
Romina was from Western Melbourne Propulsion. I know she was only 0.2 over that national time this morning. Maybe she was able to
She went at 10.7.
Introducing the finalists for event number 84.
Yep, that's
she got
it.
it.
That's what it is.
She got it. It was 1/100th of a second.
Backstroke.
What a great
In
way to
lane
get your
0
national
from Yarra
time.
Plenty Waves, Benjamin Van Dyke. In lane 1 from Camberwell Grammar Aquatic, Luca Lim. In lane 2 from Melbourne Swimming Club, Harry McCraw. In lane 3 from Melbourne Swimming Club, Luca Brown. In lane 4 from Camberwell Grammar Aquatic, Liam Pawson. In lane 5 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Lemuel Janasa. In lane 6 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Aidan Ramos. In lane 7 from Western Melbourne Propulsion, Anjay Lamb. In lane 8, from Ivanhoe Swim, Campbell Mills. And in lane 9, from MLC Aquatic, Hamish Evans. These are your finalists for event number 84, the boys 14 to 15 100 metre backstroke.
I think this is going to be a very fast race. It almost took getting a national time to be part of this final as we get underway with the 14-15 years 100 metre backstroke. No surprise to see Lemuel Janasa out in lane 5. He's always been an incredible technician. Those starts, phenomenal. He was up and away racing very, very quickly. But it's Luca Brown who's challenging him early on.
Well, I found it very interesting there. Liam Paulson was quite a way behind after 15 metres. I'm wondering if something happened on the blocks there. I didn't quite see. But he's actually also fresh off that 1500 where he just got touched out for the gold medal. And that wasn't too long ago. So we'll see how much power he's got left in the system. Luca Brown, though, I'm really liking the intent he has in his stroke.
He's just starting to push through the field here. He did get his feet on the wall first, even though he looked like he might have been a little bit behind, and he's really continued that momentum from the turn. Comes down under the flags, and it looks like he will take out this one almost under that minute barrier, 1:00.35, ahead of Liam Paulson, 1:00.84, and it will be Lemuel who finishes in third in a 1:01.69.
It is very difficult to do a long 1500 and then work yourself and try and get yourself up and the blood flowing and the heart rate and the energy system completely changing for a 100 backstroke. Completely different energy systems. So great effort there from Liam Paulson to be able to back those two events up.
Super impressive.
Introducing the finalists for event number 85, the women's 16 and over 200 metre backstroke. In lane 0 from MLC Aquatic, Grace Cox. In lane 1 from Caulfield Aquatics, Amelia Kennedy. In lane 2 from Melbourne Vic Centre Swimming Club, Emily Tulloch. In lane 3 from Furbank Aquastars, Sarah Cooper. In lane 4 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Alyssa Lever. In lane 5, from Melbourne Swimming Club, Madison Cooper. In lane 6, from MLC Aquatic, Sione Kinzet. In lane 7, from Caulfield Aquatics, Ashley Dunn. In lane 8, from Western Melbourne Propulsion, Charlotte Ristig. And in lane 9, from Swimman's Swim Club, Bethany Forster. These are your finalists for event number 85, the women's 16 and over 200 metre backstroke.
Now a little bit longer of a distance here. We got the 16 and overs doing the 200 backstroke. So a bit of a change up. Great start there from the middle of the pool. Alyssa Lever looking very controlled early on.
Our outside lane, lane 9, really nice start from her.
Now you just want to see the swim speed transition through after a good start with good intent. Looks like lane number 3 will lead us through. Sarah Cooper, 33.15. Great start from her. Getting herself up and about, but anyone can be winning after 50. Can she hold herself together and hold her stroke together in order to keep that nice flow towards the end of the race? Lane 5 just dropping behind Madison Cooper. Well, we did see her in that 1500, so that's another one that did for the 1500 and is backing up into a backstroke race. This 200 backstroke is a dreadfully hard stroke. I often talk about the knees coming up and the fatigue being made on the legs and using those big muscles, the quads, the glutes, the hamstrings. I'll tell you what, but they use up so much energy in backstroke that energy system is already completely drained. after that first 1500 that she does. So going into the 200 backstroke, I'm going to be surprised if she's got anything left. It's a very brave backup here.
Yeah, super challenging. I definitely don't envy her doing a 200-metre backstroke. Really nice turn there from our leader.
Alison Lever, the only one to go faster on that third 50 than she did the second. So that's exactly how winning is done. You want to build into your race and time your finish so well. That's very well experienced there from Alison Lever. But only at 19 years old, she's definitely not the oldest in the field. However, she's showing absolute experience beyond her age. She comes down to the final 5 metres now. She's going to be under that 2-minute 20 barrier that she was just outside this morning. 2 minutes 18.27, finishing off in a 34-second last 50. 36 seconds for those around her. Madison Cooper actually finished in the 35, so you wonder if she was too conservative on the way out, worrying that she'd run out of the energy system on the way back. But nonetheless, a great swim from all those athletes. 2:22 in second for Sarah Cooper, and in third place, it's Sione Kinzet out there in lane 6 at 2:24.07.
Introducing the finalist for event number 86, the men's 16 and over 200-metre backstroke. In lane 0, from Laverton Wyndham Aquatics, Cooper Dixon. In lane 1, from DVE Aquatic, Cooper Rushmeyer. In lane 2, from Lilydale Swimming Club, Kynan Power. In lane 3, from Cheltenham Swimming Club, Liam Donnellan. In lane 4, from MLC Aquatic, Joshua Witkowski. In lane 5, from Nunawading Swimming Club, Tharwin Prarom. In lane 6, from Ivanhoe Aquapower, Nicholas Highland. In lane 7, from MLC Aquatic, Alexander Stone. In lane 8, from Western Melbourne Propulsion, Lucas Kay. And in lane 9, from Ivanhoe Swim, Matthew Golding. These are your finalists for event number 86, the men's 16 and over 200-metre backstroke.
Just important to note on the program that you might have at home, Lucas Campbell unfortunately wasn't able to make it to the final. So Cooper Dixon, the first reserve, is out there in lane 0. Very important to make sure, even as a reserve, that you warm up properly. It's actually how I finished my career. I was originally a reserve and then snuck into the final because one person pulled out and another person unfortunately got COVID during the day. So that's actually, believe it or not, how I swam my last race. I was originally second reserve and then snuck into lane 9. Now, the fastest PB in this field is actually Liam Donnellan, out there in lane 3 from Cheltenham. I believe his PB is around that 2:12 mark. So these boys are definitely, it's wide open. I believe we had 6 people pull out this morning, and it might have been like about 6 of the fastest 7 swimmers potentially. I can't remember the race exactly, but our initial leader here is Joshua Witkowski. Beautiful, smooth stroke. We've got Liam there in second in lane 3. But I'll tell you what, that battle for second, third, fourth and fifth is so tight between those boys around Joshua. They're out in that 103 to 105 range. 33s seem to be the number if you want to put your stamp on this race. We're going to hope that they're able to continue that through for the last 100 metres here. This is where the most important part of the race is actually won. They call it the championship quarter in AFL, this third quarter, because it's where you set the tone for the final part. You don't want to, you definitely can't win the race in the third 50, but you can definitely lose it by falling too far behind. So you need to make sure that it's nice and controlled, put your money on the line, and have a real crack here in this last 50. The fastest 50 there was Liam in lane 3, only just ahead of Joshua, who's held his lead and it looks like he's going to hold his lead all the way to the end here. A bit of a gap now created between first and second, but it's still very much up for grabs. Lane 3 there, Tharwin has always been up in the ranks, had an excellent start, constantly been there through the whole race. Looks like he'll walk home with third position. Nicholas Highland, unfortunately, just fading towards the end. A 33-second last 50 from Liam Donnellan. So obviously we had that ambition to finish the race just as strong as he started. And unfortunately, just wasn't quite enough to catch up to Joshua Witkowski. But first there for Josh, second Liam, and third for Tharwin. And unfortunately, just missing out on the medals. Fourth for Nicholas in a time of 2:16. Very similar to what he did this morning.
Introducing the finalists for event number 89, the mixed 100-metre butterfly multi-class. In lane 2, from Western Aquatic Academy Swimming, Alison Freely. In lane 3, from Western Aquatic Academy Swimming, Joshua Briggs. In lane 4, from Melbourne Swimming Club, James Logan. In lane 5, from Melbourne, Dominic Barnett. In lane 6, from Ivanhoe Swim, Grace Ryder. These are your finalists for event number 89, the mixed 100-metre butterfly multi-class.
All right, it's our 100-metre butterfly for our multi-class athletes, male and female, hitting the pool now. We've got the 3 boys and the 2 girls in this event. It's a bit of a toughie, a nice race already going on between James Logan and Dominic Barnett, the 2 boys from Melbourne Swimming Club.
Yeah, good start here. As we've seen James Logan in many races so far this week, I'd be absolutely gassed if I was getting to this point and I'm still having to do 100 metres of butterfly. He's non-stop, is he?
He really is, and you haven't even been able to stop him at the end of the race, I think.
Yeah, he doesn't even want to stop.
Can't stop, won't stop for James Logan, and I think this is going to be another example of that. The exciting part between our women in this event, Alison and Grace, is they are both the same classification, so it literally is a race to the finish line for those girls. The boys, a little bit trickier to determine our winner because we have 3 different classifications. We do compare their times to the world record and base that on our World Aquatics point score. But James Logan there, a 107.10. It's really solid for night 3.
Coming up against his entry time, just outside of it, 112 for Dominic. Once again, just a touch outside of his entry time, 122. Big improvement for Joshua Briggs there. There we go.
There we go.
We needed a PB somewhere. I needed to feel like there was some improvement. Great effort from all those involved.
Yeah, Alison Feely dropping 2 seconds as well. So a really solid performance from her to be our leader in the female event of the 100 butterfly for our multi-class athletes.
Much smarter than the able body. They only decided to swim at night. They didn't have enough entrance to swim in the morning.
We love it.
Introducing event number 90, the girls 12 to 13 200-metre freestyle. In lane 0, from Ivanhoe Aquapower, Amelia Grover. In lane 1, from DVE Aquatic, Zoe McCauley. In lane 2, from Brighton Grammar School, Leonie Munster. In lane 3, from Nunawading Swimming Club, Jemana Farmi. In lane 4, from Western Aquatic Academy Swimming, Amelia Broughton. In lane 5, from Ivanhoe Swim, Hope Christian. In lane 6, from Melbourne Swimming Club, Lucy Dolan. In lane 7, from Caulfield Aquatics, Jemima Collins. In lane 8, from Melbourne Swimming Club, Hannah Dye. And in lane 9, from Caulfield Aquatics, Zara Barr. These are your finalists for event number 90, girls 12 to 13, 200 metre freestyle.
I think Elliot nailed it a moment ago when he said it's time to boogie now. We are into our 200-metre freestyle as the female of 12, 13 years. I think this is going to be an absolutely cracking race. A lot of these girls, entry times coming into finals tonight, all sitting around that 2:15, 2:16 mark, and I think there's a little bit of wiggle room here. I think we could see some fast swims on the board.
Well, as most of these athletes have been competing the whole way through the week, who knows how these athletes are actually feeling when we're coming to the last session. And it's not even like we're at the start of the session. A couple of these girls have already swum so far in earlier in the 1500 or even this afternoon. Some of these times aren't finishing until a bit later.
Sarah Bart in lane 9 had a really, really good start, and she's holding that pace nicely off that turn.
Lucy Dolan, she's had a cracking meet as well. She had an incredible race earlier today, and she's really put it out quickly here. So she set the pace of the 100-metre turn, 104.89, ahead of Hope Christian in lane 5, 105.77. Now, do keep an eye on some of those middle lanes. This 200-metre freestyle, the third lap, is going to be really, really important here.
I feel like a broken record saying it's the championship quarter. It's where you set up what your intent's going to be in that last 50 metres. So you really want to make sure that they notice you see people moving through the pack, or maybe even moving backwards in the pack, depending on what you have done and how your energy is being used for this race.
Lucy Dolan coming back in really nice and strong.
But the real third 50 performer there was Hope Christian in lane 5. She absolutely challenged Lucy, and the momentum is certainly swinging her way with 25 metres to go. She has overtaken to claim the lead here, and these two girls, they are really taking off. Zara Barr still sitting in third. She could claim a medal from lane 9, but the race is on. 5 and 6, stroke for stroke. Right down the time.
Wow.
2/100ths of a second there. Lucy Dolan hangs on. 2:13.34 ahead of Hope Christian. 2:13.36 with Zara Barr out in lane 9. No one saw her coming for that third place spot.
Used the least amount of energy to get into the final and then getting a medal in the final. Excellently done. You wonder if that extra stroke that was taken at the end there from Hope Christian might have cost her, but at the end of the day, this is all experience is what it comes down to.
100% a learning opportunity. I did think she might have been able to sneak it the way she looked on that third 50.
Introducing the finals for event number 91, the boys 12 to 13, 200 metre freestyle. In lane 0 from Ivanhoe Swim, Andrew Spencer. In lane 1 from Camberwell Grammar Aquatic, Quinn Richards. In lane 2, Melbourne Swimming Club, Benjamin Shang. In lane 3 from Cheltenham Swimming Club, Lincoln Hall. In lane 4 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Ishak Ismail. In lane 5 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Hang Tang Wang. In lane 6 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Lachlan Harris. In lane 7 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Evan Nyam. In lane 8 from Melbourne Swimming Club, Andrew Wang. And in lane 9 from St Kevin's College Swimming Club, Broderick Coyne. These are your finalists for event number 91, the boys 12 to 13, 200 metre freestyle.
All right, event 91 hitting the pool now. 200-metre freestyle, 12-13-year boys. And what a great age group this is to be. I would certainly keep your eyes on this race. Ishak Ismail in lane 4. He's been a stellar performer across the weekend, but I really don't think this one is going to be as easy as some of the others might have seen with his main competitor, Han Tang Wang in lane 5 and Lincoln Hall challenging in lane 3.
Lincoln Hall, only 12 years old. We saw him earlier in that 100-metre backstroke really have a crack at it. He was the fastest of the 12-year-olds from lane 7. Now, what we're looking at here is his coach is best mates with one of the record holders in this event for the 12-year-olds. It's Nick Gromwald in a 2:04. We saw him break that 2:10 barrier this morning, and not just break it, he absolutely shattered it when a 2:08. We wonder if there's anything left in the tank for maybe a 2:07 or a 6 that could really push him down and sweat that state time.
So Ishak really pushing out this first 100, sub the minute, 59.19 ahead of Han Tang. The work needs to be done here on this third 50 as his turn time 1:00.91 with Lincoln still sitting in third. Not really any surprises out of the first 100. It's all going to come down to what can happen here, but gosh, this is a good-looking lead.
Ishak Ismail is going to absolutely fly through here. A 32.07. I'm hoping he can come back in that 31, give all that energy he's got, maybe even sit around that 2:02 mark, which is better than the time that Han Tang Wang came in to this competition with. I believe it was around that 2:03, 2:04. But what a finish we've got here. He says, not on my watch. He's absolutely flying this last 50. Staring straight into his soul, lifts over the top of him, and you wouldn't read about the finish that we've got here. That 8-beat kick and outboard motor behind him. 28.57.
That is unheard of. Can I just say, that is unheard of. I don't think I've seen a faster final lap from anyone this age.
13 years old, and he's coming back in a 28.57. The coach would say to him, where was that for the first 150 metres? You gave me a heart attack.
That was incredible. I talked about the fact that these two would be fierce competitors before the race, but even I didn't expect to see that kind of comeback.
Also, we forgot about him, but Lincoln Hall out there in lane 3 getting the bronze medal. Well done to the 12-year-old.
Introducing the finalists for event number 92, girls 14 to 15, 200-metre butterfly. In lane 0 from Cheltenham Swimming Club, Alexandra Isborn. In lane 1 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Ella Yap. In lane 2 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Keela Enters. In lane 3 from Caulfield Aquatics, Mia Bates. In lane 4 from Caulfield Aquatics, Mia Misford. In lane 5 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Lucy Doyle. In lane 6 from Melbourne Swimming Club, Zara Jeffrey. In lane 7 from Oasis Otters Swimming Club, Bronwyn Zhang. And in lane 9 from Flyers Swim Team, Logan Shelley. These are your finalists for event number 92, the girls 14 to 15, 200-metre butterfly.
Here we go on what might be one of the most challenging races on the program across this 2025 Mattioli Victorian Metropolitan Championship. The 200-metre butterfly. This is the girls 14, 15 years. Even though it is such a tough race, we do have a pretty stacked field here. You know, Mia Bates in lane 3, Lucy Doyle in 5. She's already had a big program. Keep your eye on Zara Jeffrey in lane 6. Great 100-metre butterfly, starting to shift her focus towards more of these 200s.
I've been so impressed with the fly swimmers at this competition, especially these girls in this 200 fly. Not an easy race at all. Definitely do not envy them at the moment.
I think at this point it's still probably feeling a little bit easier, so I guess when we turn for that third 50, it's where it really starts to hurt, and we see the race. It's kind of the turning point, I guess, in the race of who are these tougher athletes. I would Be keeping my eye a little bit on Lucy Doyle. She is that tough competitor, loves the distance swim. We do know Mia Bates is a great sprint butterflyer. She'll be trying to maintain that rhythm throughout this second 100. It currently sits as Mia out in front, turned in a 107.1, followed by Lucy and then Zara onto the wall. Kayla enters over in lane 2. She's been a real up-and-comer over the last 12 months. Some great performances across multiple events for her. Really thrives in those breaststrokes, and it's nice to see that crossover between breaststroke and butterfly.
Zara Jeffries in lane 6, having some really nice turns in this race, super quick.
Those skills can really be the make or break in a 200 fly. It's all about knowing where your abilities lie. Can you hold that underwater a little bit longer, save the arms and rest, but you know you're going to use a little bit more oxygen to hold it. Mia Bates, though, she's done a phenomenal job here. She led through at the first 100, really consistent throughout this second 100. She's going to take out this one. The time there, 2:22.92. Following her onto the wall was Lucy Doyle, 2:26.44, and Zara Jeffrey in third, 2:28.00.
Introducing the finalists for event number 93, the boys 14 to 15, 200 metre butterfly. In lane 0, from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Eugene Tang. In lane 1, from Laverton Wyndham Aquatics, Gabriel Wong. In lane 2, from Bayside Swimming Club, Louis Sherritt. In lane 3, from Bayside Swimming Club, Matthew Moran. In lane 4, from Cheltenham Swimming Club, Scott Robertson. In lane 5, from Ivanhoe Swim, Eli Billman. In lane 6, from St Kevin's College Swimming Club, Hamish Davin. In lane 7, from Laverton Wyndham Aquatics, Gavin Danny. In lane 8, from Laverton Wyndham Aquatics, Luca Henderson. And in lane 9, from DVE Aquatic, Ashley Lansbury. These are your finalists for event number 93, the boys 14 to 15, 200 metre butterfly.
I would definitely recommend that most of our viewers watch the underwaters there from lane 5. Eli Billman, he's so good on the skills. Not surprising whatsoever that he is out in front early on.
Yeah, excellent dive. He really covered a lot of distance in that start there.
We do know Matthew Moran has had multiple events. He was in that 1,500 metre swim earlier on tonight. There's not a lot of turnaround time here to come back and back it up with a 200 metre butterfly, but we do see that quite often from these distant athletes. If they do 1,500s, you tend to do 200 butterflies, 400 IMs. They're used to this backing up over and over. It doesn't mean it's any less difficult.
It's a little gripe I had as a 1,500 metre swimmer. You always were at the end of the meet. You were the last one picked. It felt... and you never felt good leading into a 1,500. And so at the start of the program, you then go, yeah, finally, I'm going to feel good for a 1,500, and completely forget how bad you're going to feel after it for all the events that follow. But this is absolutely stunning. What I love about this is you've got Eli here. His chin does not leave the water at any point. The only time it will is on the turn. Even when he lifts his head up for a breath, he stays so low. It's like a hurdler running hurdles. They stay as close to that hurdle as they can in order to minimise the amount that they go up and down that extra wasted movement.
Yeah, junior athletes, watch this, man. It's a great swim. Gabriel Wong, he was out in second. He was quick earlier today in that first 100 and just sort of faded towards the last 50. So keep an eye on the other boys in this field. Those more distance swimmers like your Scott Robinson, your Matthew Moran. These guys are really starting to push their way into the front. Scott now overtaking Gabriel, and he's really starting to make his move on Eli Billman.
Yeah, I just can't see anyone chasing down Eli here. I know that there's been a faster last 50 here from Scott, but Eli has done such an incredible job of building that lead to begin with, to the point that it's unobtainable. Great 34.3 on his last 50, a 33 from Scott Robinson. He came in with a plan. It looks like he's executed that plan with a 2:13.16, getting that silver medal. Unfortunately, I just don't think there was anything he could do. Eli Billman, just too good on the day. And out in lane number 1, Gabriel Long with the bronze medal, 2:17.92. Great swim from all those involved. I'm jealous that these guys can even figure their way through a 200 metres butterfly, as we see Eli doing some breathing control at the end there to make sure that he can compose himself after this race.
I appreciate that a lot. I'm also just taking a look at the open time for 200 fly, and that's a 2:11.95. I'm not sure what Eli's time coming into this was, but he went a 2:18 this morning, so big drop between
Introducing the finalists for event number 94, the women's 16 and over 100 metre butterfly. In lane 0 from Melbourne Victoria Swimming Club, Eliza Houghton. In lane 1 from MLC Aquatic, Grace Cox. In lane 2 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Nazia Ikosidikis. In lane 3 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Courtney Mudge. In lane 4 from MLC Aquatic, Isabella Osborne. In lane 5 from DVE Aquatic, Rihanna Chen. In lane 6 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Abby Harrington. In lane 7 from Caulfield Aquatics, Sophie Jacker. In lane 8 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Anna O'Reilly. And in lane 9 from Tiger Shark Swimming Club, Jessica Proudlock. These are your finalists for event number 94, the women's 16 and over 100 metre butterfly.
Alrighty, let's get speedy here. We shift away from our 200 butterflies into our 100 butterfly for our women's 16 and overs. Keep your eye on those middle lanes. I certainly think they're going to be the ones to watch. Izzy Osborne, she's so close to breaking that minute mark. Rihanna Chen, incredible skills person once again. Great underwaters from her. These girls this morning swam 101s and 103s, and we had quite a few girls on that 103 mark this morning, actually. Taking us out, though, in lane 7 was Sophie Jacker, 29.12, almost out in that 28 mark. A few of these girls a little bit more relaxed and composed on the first 50, hoping to bring it through in this second lap, pushing their way into the lead. As we spoke about earlier, it's those two golden lanes.
Courtney Mudge definitely coming up so she can take the top 3 positions.
Yeah, she sneaks her hands in onto the wall there. A nice time from Courts. It is Izzy Osborne, though, our leader, 102.12, ahead of Rihanna, 102.74, and Courtney Mudge, good old Mudgy, 103.27, a half-second drop from this morning's heats.
Introducing the finalists for event number 95, the men's 16 and over 100 metre butterfly. In lane 0 from Melbourne Swimming Club, Jacob Matushka. In lane 1 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Daniel Savitarisi. In lane 2 from Caulfield Aquatics, Nicholas Slayton. In lane 3 from Furbank Aquastars, Ewan Smith. In lane 4 from Western Aquatic Academy Swimming, Dmitry Sorokolatov. In lane 5 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Haruku Nakanishi. In lane 6 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Riley Mitchell. In lane 7 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, George Huang. In lane 8 from Melbourne Swimming Club, Felix Dressel de Bruin. And in lane 9 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Adam Alanefni. These are your finalists for event number 95, the men's 16 and over 100 metre butterfly.
A little bit of a stacked field here. We're having a hot debate on who we think might podium in this men's 16 and over 100 metre butterfly. I do know a couple of these athletes a little bit over their best this morning, so we'll see what they can do. I've stacked my cards on Haruki in lane 5. The Nunawading swimmer, but anything can happen in these finals.
Yeah, I know Riz Mitt just next to him, his training partner over there at Nunawading. He's got a good 55-second 100 butterfly when he's really on, so I wouldn't count him out of the cards either, nor literally anyone in the field. By the looks of it, we've got half a second between first and sixth. You know, it's a very close field that we've got here. We'll see who can break away off the back of this turn.
Nick Layton here having a really strong second lap.
We do know he's going to be a little bit slower off that start, reacting to the light, not the sound. Ewan Smith in lane 3, he was out to a ripper, the only athlete going sub 26 in the first 50. Here comes Dimitri Sorokolotov.
All Dimitri here. Yep. And the bronze medal there going to Riley Mitchell.
Yeah, he sneaks his hands on in front of Haruki. So Dimitri in first, 55.83 ahead of Ewan Smith, 55.98. And Riley Mitchell out in lane 6, 56.16. But a lot closer than they were this morning. So these guys really lifting for finals, which is good to see.
0.3 of a second between first and third there. It really does go to show it is the small things that get you over the line in this race.
Introducing the finalists for event number 98, the mixed 50-metre breaststroke multi-class. In lane 0 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Abigail Garbellini. In lane 1 from Yarra Plenty Waves, Ahmed Kelly. In lane 2 from MLC Aquatic, Ruby Halliday. In lane 3 from Melbourne Swimming Club, James Logan. In lane 4 from Oasis Otters Swimming Club, Andrew Din. In lane 5 from Ivanhoe Swim, Grace Ryder. In lane 6 from Yarra Plenty Waves, Cooper Harrington. In lane 7 from Western Melbourne Propulsion, Scarlett Morgan. And in lane 8 from Ivanhoe Swim, Madeline Fox. These are your finalists for event number 98, the mixed 50-metre breaststroke multi-class.
Here we are underway with event number 98. Now we see our favourite Australian athlete out there over in lane 1, Ahmed Kelly. He's gone and represented Australia at the recent Paralympic Games over in Paris. However, it's the boys in the middle of the pool that have started off the quickest. Andrew Din, Logan James there. Does this man know no boundaries? He has done every event that I've seen so far and had an absolute crack.
There's a few of our athletes in doing back-to-back events. Abigail over here in lane 0 and Madeline Fox in lane 8. Also just out from their 100-metre backstroke. Straight back in the pool for 50 metres breaststroke.
Grace Ryder there turning around to the crowd saying, I don't know, is that good, is it not? Have I just won a gold medal? I'm not sure. We'll have to wait until the FINA times come up and they show us how close each athlete was to their respective world records based off classifications. But it's good to see these guys in there having a good crack as we finally have Madeline Fox touching the wall there, finishing the event off in a 110.52. And so we move on now to our next event. Oh dear, the 12, 13-year-old 200 butterfly. Why are these kids doing it to themselves?
Introducing the finalists for event number 99, the girls 12 to 13 200-metre butterfly. In lane 0 from South East Swimming Club, Yushin Guo. In lane 1 from Melbourne Swimming Club, Amy Bai. In lane 2 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Madeline Regalodo Jones. In lane 3 from Western Aquatic Academy Swimming, Lola Jojic. In lane 4 from Caulfield Aquatics, Abby Mesher. In lane 5 from Ivanhoe Aquapower Swimming Club, Millie Charlton. In lane 6 from Melbourne Swimming Club, Zoe Clemenson. In lane 7 from Melbourne Swimming Club, Amelia Leo. In lane 8 from Melton Swimming Club, Victoria Jeremine. And in lane 9 from Melbourne Swimming Club, Matilda Barbero. These are your finalists for event number 99, the girls 12 to 13 200-metre butterfly.
All right, so as we said moments ago, it is the 12-13-year girls 200-metre butterfly. Now, as a 12-13-year-old, this was my favourite event. It might not have been anyone else's in my age group or in any age group, but I'm excited for this one. We do have a stacked field. Abby Mesher, she's a great 100-metre butterflyer, and she's really been pushing her way into these 200s. She's able to maintain that. Training she's doing must be working really well. You do have Zoe Clemenson out in lane 6. She's a tough athlete. Expect her to come home very, very fast. And there's a few of these other girls coming onto the field now as well. So Millie Charlton, she came into this race one of the highest ranked athletes too, so never discount her as well.
My favourite part of Zoe's swimming is actually her skills. So that's the beautiful thing about a 200 butterfly. Butterfly sucks. You know it. I know it. Everyone knows it.
Lies.
You want to be underwater for as long as possible. Although if you're underwater for too long, obviously you need oxygen to live and to help you get through this race. So I want to see some good skills here from some of the girls. Just help them ease off the arms, because that's usually the first thing to go in a 200-metre butterfly.
So it's Millie Charlton out in the lead early on, 109.11 ahead of Abby Mesher, 109.66, and Zoe Clemenson in third. But we do know, and we do sound like those broken records going on and on and on about this third 50. It really is kind of that deciding factor, though. If you're out in the lead and you can hold on and put on a really nice third 50, you're probably going to hold it. If you are behind and you start to gain that momentum and close that gap, those odds are in your favour. You're going to continue with that momentum onto that fourth lap, and it's much easier to chase someone than it is to hold them off.
Although I like the idea of momentum, butterfly might be my one exception to the rule. When you lose your timing in butterfly, that's it, race over. You look like you are being held back by a tow truck that is pulling you the wrong way. You need to make sure that that rhythm stays the same the whole way through, and it looks like Millie Charlton is just starting to struggle with that timing as Abby Mesher flies through this last 25 metres. Absolutely excellent timing from her. She's absolutely flowing into the stroke. Looks just as good at the end as when she started.
Yeah, we spoke about how her training has certainly been working in her favour, and you've just seen an example of that. The ability to hold stroke down that final 50. She'll take the gold here, 226.42.
I think something happened with the touchpad there. Millie Charlton didn't get a time, so that 237 is definitely not what she went.
Yeah, I believe she definitely touched in second there. It was a little bit closer than at the 150-metre mark. But I do think Millie Charlton is your silver medalist here, ahead of Zoe Clemenson.
We will have to revert back to our great Hawkeye technology that we have at the pool to see what time she actually would have touched in. But an excellent performance there from our top three athletes, Abby Mesher, Millie Charlton and Zoe Clemenson.
Introducing the finalists for event number 100, boys 12 to 13, 200 metre butterfly. In lane 0 from Yarra Plenty Waves, Johan In. In lane 1 from Yarra Plenty Waves, Elijah Lamont. In lane 2 from M1 Swimming Club, Teo He. In lane 3 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Aston Wilson. In lane 4 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Oscar Magalotti. In lane 5 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Hang Tang Wang. In lane 6 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Ijak Ismail. In lane 7 from D5 Swimming Club, Dex Kumba. In lane 8 from DVE Aquatic, Jason Wang. And in lane 9 from Laverton Wyndham Aquatics, Caleb Wong. These are your finalists for event number 100, the boys 12 to 13, 200 metre butterfly.
So here we are underway with the boys' turn to go in event number 100, bringing up the century here. The 200 metre butterfly for the 12-13-year-old age group. Oscar Magalotti, and we've got Hantang Wang and Ishak Ismail out there in lane 6. We saw those three boys all do the 200 freestyle, I believe, so they're backing up so quickly here. Let's see, they've barely had 20 minutes between their races. So these boys might be stinging a little bit, especially Hantang Wang, who came home in that 28.57 for that last 50 to finish over the top of Ishak Ismail. We'll see if he takes that personally or if these boys have spent all their energy and someone like Oscar Magalotti or maybe even Aston Wilson can come in and take that number 1 or 2. It's also a nice start out here from lane number 7, Dex Kuma. But around first on the turn is Oscar Magalotti. 35 seconds for that second 50. 2 seconds faster than anyone else in the pool. So he's obviously building into his race here.
I've seen Oscar at the pool doing some training sessions recently and really practicing his butterfly. He looks incredible tonight. Definitely got a really good lead at the moment.
He's built into the race nicely. He definitely didn't want to use much energy in that first 50 metres, and it's paying off at the back end here. You can see these other boys, they just can't hang with him unless Hantang Wang comes out and drops another 28 in this back end. I can't see anyone beating Oscar here. It's absolutely flying down the field. We're talking about constantly having rhythm in your stroke. You don't want to look like you're swimming up and down. You want to be flowing forward each time you get to the front of your stroke. Your 2 kicks, one is the exit of your stroke, one at the entry of your stroke. We're coming down to the final 15 metres here. Oscar Magalotti absolutely run away with it. Hantang Wang is going to do it again. Going to go from third and gain a place in that last 50 up to second position. He's still finishing even faster. If this is a 205 metre race, I wouldn't rule him out of catching Oscar. But a 36 back end for those two boys in the middle of the pool. Aston Wilson getting the job done, sneaking under that 230 barrier. 227.87, great backing up from all of those boys. Ishak Ismail, I'm not going to lie, that's probably the first time I've seen him not medal. He's been my swimmer of the meet so far, been absolutely excellent. Has walked home with 5, maybe even 6 gold medals and 2 silvers, but unfortunately just misses out on the medals there. But a really courageous swim by every boy that is in this field. As we just wait for the final, Caleb Wong there, 3:05.98. And we are done with the 200 metre butterflies. We now move on to the 100 metre breaststrokes for the 14-15-year-olds.
Introducing the finalists for event number 101, the girls 14 to 15, 100 metre breaststroke. In lane 0 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Waylon Tarong. In lane 1 from Furbank Aquastars, Charlotte Kelly. In lane 2 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Lily Chan. In lane 3 from Western Aquatic Academy, Catherine Andres. In lane 4 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Keela Enters. In lane 5 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Leona Lowe Hermans. Lane 6 from CA Tritons, Cherise Chan. In lane 7 from Western Melbourne Propulsion, Cassandra Isabel Biscosho. In lane 8 from Essendon District Aquatic, Eve Lawrence. And in lane 9 from Melbourne Swimming Club, Grace Doby. These are your finalists for event number 101, the girls 14 to 15 100 metre breaststroke.
Away and racing event 101, the 100 metre breaststroke for 14, 15-year-old girls. And I think this is going to be another one that is hotly contested. Keep an eye on those two Nunawading caps in the middle of the pool. Keela Enters has had an incredible comp, but Leona Lohem, and she's really renowned for this breaststroke event.
Yeah, Keela was a little bit slow off the blocks there, but it definitely looks like she's the fastest swimmer in the pool. She's already made up that ground that she lost on the start, but just working her way through the field. Definitely don't count out Grace Doby either. She looks like she's just snuck into the final, but you know what that means? That means she's used less energy this morning and she's ready to go tonight. She's leading them around in 35.50. Absolutely fantastic start from her.
And we know she has that back-end speed. She was the winner of the 200, so certainly keep an eye on that lane 9. Those girls on the far side of the pool, they're out pretty well as well. We are seeing these centre lanes, though, really start to challenge Grace with 20 metres left to swim.
Yeah, it looks like a race in 4 and 5 and 9. You don't know if these girls know about what's happening in lane 9. It looks like Grace is still just slightly ahead, but I'm not going to rule out it's very important to get the touch right and your length right on the last stroke. Let's see what happens here.
And it will be Keela who gets the timing on that finish. 1:15.15 ahead of Leona Lowe Hermans, 1:15.28, and an incredible performance from Grace Doby out in lane 9. She sneaks in that bronze ahead of Eve Lawrence, 1:15.53.
0.4 of a second separating first and third. Once again, we're seeing these very important skills.
Introducing the
race
finalists for event number 102, the boys 14 to 15, 100 metre breaststroke. In lane 0 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Jacob Chester. In lane 1 from Melbourne Swimming Club, Nathan Ney. In lane 2 from Melbourne Swimming Club, Milo Dressel de Bruyne. In lane 3 from CA Tritons, Daniel Nguyen. In lane 4 from Caulfield Aquatics, Xavier Eagle. In lane 5 from DVE Aquatic, Ashley Lansbury. In lane 6 from MLC Aquatic, Hamish Evans. In lane 7 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Yixin Jiang. In lane 8 from Caulfield Aquatics, Bowie Jones. And in lane 9 from Melbourne Swimming Club, Leo Nolan. These are your finalists for event number 102, the boys 14 to 15, 100 metre breaststroke.
I'm just going to come out and say it. I can't see how Milo does not win this race. Milo Dressel de Bruyne, Leo Nolan out here had an excellent start. We've seen these guys out in lane 9 and lane 0 have excellent starts, but you need to transition it into the swim speed. But Milo, it's just looking so strong already.
He really lifts in finals as well, so I think that's certainly something to keep an eye on. We know Leo is going to go out quickly. He got his national time this morning, so we were really excited about that. He'll be trying to better that performance this afternoon. He's going to drag along the rest of the field a little bit. But we have seen Hamish Evans. What an incredible meet he's had. A lot of those swims he's been really fast, well under his personal best. We did speak to his coach, Mel. She said he's been training the house down an absolute storm, and he's the one to beat early on.
Ashley Lansbury, unfortunately, has just fallen a little bit behind on the turn. We're seeing lane 3 pick up as well. Daniel Nguyen, but I seriously doubt that anyone is going to be able to beat Milo here. His second 50 is absolutely undefeated. His rate lifts. He puts his head down as much as he can. What an outstanding
Wow.
finish. That was superfluous. In lane 6 there, Hamish Evans. Absolutely fantastic swim from him. 107.63, getting the job done for silver. And Yijing Jiang out there in lane number 7. Went a bit undetected. We didn't really mention him at all, but 108.78. Definitely an incredible swim from him as well.
Introducing the finalists for event number 103, the women's 16 and over 100 metre breaststroke. In lane 0 from PLC Aquatic, Lucinda Draper. In lane 1 from Ivanhoe Swim, Imogen Nolan. In lane 2 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Yuji Liu. In lane 3 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Taylor Viney. In lane 4 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Farida Taha. In lane 5 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Madeline Horvath. In lane 6 from Melbourne Swimming Club, Amelia Otto. In lane 7 from DVE Aquatic, Amity Lanesbury. In lane 8 from Melbourne Vic Centre Swimming Club, Frances Boudville. And in lane 9 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Sahila White. These are your finalists for event number 103, the women's 16 and over 100 metre breaststroke.
Looks like we've had a couple of withdrawals from this morning's swim. Taya Odell not here in this evening. Part of that Nick Vegliardi squad that we said wouldn't be competing in those finals as they head away to Thredbo on Thursday. But a great start there from the middle of the field. 4-5 already up there, putting their names on this race.
Yeah, Farida's had a really incredible competition so far, and we know she has a lot of that front end speed. Something she's done well is being able to hold it throughout the race, so she kind of drags the field out with her, but when you expect her to start to fade, she can have that ability to hold on. It is Yuxi Liu out in lane 2 who goes out in a 34.61 to lead us around in front of Maddie Horvath and Farida. Not a lot separating those girls.
As we saw in the men's race, the 50 is not the be-all and end-all. There is more to come in this back end. This is where the 200 swimmers start to shine over the 50-metre swimmers.
Yeah, they certainly do. The 100-metre breaststroke, this last 15 metres, it can really start to sting. Taylor Viney starting to push her way up into second in front of Maddie Horvath. It is still Farida out in the lead. It looks like she's going to comfortably take out this one. The time there, 1:13.44 ahead of Taylor Viney, 1:14.51, and it is Madeline Horvath in third, 1:15.08.
Important to note there from that heat that the two swimmers that came first and second were the two that got under 40 seconds on that back 50. So it shows you that finishing fast is exactly where you want to be.
Introducing the finalists for event number 104, the men's 16 and over 100 metre breaststroke. In lane 0 from Western Aquatic Academy Swing, Dmitry Sorokolatov. In lane 1 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Hugh Fithy. In lane 2 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Max Malone. In lane 3 from Furbank Aquastars, Thomas Dale. In lane 4 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Lachlan Chan. In lane 5 from Melbourne Swimming Club, Felix Dressel de Bruin. In lane 6 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Harry Heath. In lane 7 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Eugene Tu. In lane 8 from Nunawading Swimming Club, Joshua Hargraves. In lane 9 from Surrey Park Swimming Club, Darcy Stewart. These are your finalists for event number 104, the men's 16 and over 100 metre breaststroke.
All right, the boys underway here for the 16 and over 100 metre breaststroke. We were saying keep an eye on Lockie Chan. He's looked pretty impressive across the weekend, but don't discount Felix Dressel de Bruin. We just saw his brother Milo take out the earlier race in the 100 metre breaststroke, and he'll be having a little bit of a challenge to see if he can come up with some gold here too.
Yeah, I'm sure the sibling rivalry will really hit hard. We know that Lockie loves to come back fast. A sub 30 for that first 50 is absolutely flying, completely opposite to what we saw Milo do. Milo was about third or fourth at the turn and then came over the top to win. Felix says, no, I want to win this from the start.
Yeah, we know Lockie's really good over the 200, so we're just seeing him start to come up alongside Felix. Felix, great 50-metre freestyle as well, so he's got a great start, a great first lap.
Wow,
he's trying to hang in there, but I think Lockie is it's gonna swing in his way
Very
here.
close. The difference seems to be the power that Lockie can generate in his stroke. 0.3 of a second dividing the two of them, but once again, just 32 on that back end. Out in 30 or 31, back in 32. It's so hard to beat someone when they are that consistent. Bronze medal there going to Thomas Dale. Very impressive swim from all of them. Just missing out on that sub 105 swim, but a good performance all around.
So that previous race marked the last of our individual events for the 2025 Mattioli Victorian Metropolitan Championships, which brings us now to the fun part of the night. It is relay time, event 109 in the water. 3-time finals in this event. It's the girls 16 and 200 metre freestyle relay. 4 athletes, 1 50-metre sprint each. Swimming out of this first heat, we have the Cadinia Piranhas and Swimland Swim Club. It's almost like a swim-off for a relay, so this one could be a little bit exciting. Both teams in that around. Cadinia at a 2:05 and Swimland at a 2:09. So we're looking to see how many of their athletes can beat their personal best, and we can maybe get a personal best for the team on the board.
I love watching these relays, watching these relay changeovers, something I'm teaching my juniors at the moment. Super exciting to see it all up in action.
And it's definitely something that the juniors love to do at training, and not only the juniors but the seniors. I think open level athletes get around the relay just as much as our age groupers.
Relay nights are one of our faves for sure.
You say that until you have to race a 4x2. 4x2s are not as fun, but luckily we don't have them at this competition. So it's going to be nice, quick, done very fast here. No time to breathe. And speaking of no time to breathe, 0.15 separating these two athletes jumping into the water now. Talk about no time to breathe, no time to blink. That's less than a blink, you'll see. But they are going stroke for stroke. It seems to be Swimland that's pulling ahead here. Absolutely brilliant swim, using the speed off of that changeover to come down into the last 5 metres ahead.
Yeah, they come in the slower ranked team, but they're going to blow that time absolutely out of the water, out of the pool. That 2:09. See you later. Big personal best here, 2:04.95. Ahead of Cadinia, 2:07.30. So that is our first of 3-time finals. Keep in mind those fastest 10 teams. They will be in that 3rd final this evening.
This will be up to you here. I'm not so great with faces under caps. We don't have the names of each athlete that's in the water, so I'm going to have to rely on you if you see someone that you recognise.
The interesting part about this 16 and under age group is we have athletes as young as 9 competing across this weekend. We have seen it.
There's an 8-year-old in there as well.
I apologise to the 8-year-old, but 8, 9, 10, 11, you can be any age up to that 16-year mark. I will be able to spot a few, maybe. We'll see. But we'll see how we go. But, you know, at the end of the day, these relays, it's not one person's performance. One person does not make a relay team. You cannot rely on one individual swimmer. It has to be a group effort. And that's what I love about it. We can see teams who are way out in front on the first leg, but every little person after that, you know, they chip away at it, and that's where we really see the results come through.
I think swimming is such an independent sport, so it's really nice to see some relays where teams come together and really support each other.
So in lane 5 from Ivanhoe Swim, I believe that's Mika Thapa there, who's going to be our leader for that Ivanhoe team down this first 50. Touching in second there, the team from Yarra Plenty, Caitlin Hassler.
Great swim here early on. I just want to let all of our viewers know, Jordan and I came up with a system for talking about changeovers. If we say that it's safe, that's slow. You need to be pushing the boundary as much as possible on these changeovers. Now, we're seeing the athletes here wait until their person in the water touches the wall. That is the worst thing you can do. You want to be starting that motion of following the arms around and jumping out, and you almost want to feel like you're jumping onto the athlete. You don't actually want to jump onto them, but you need to cut it as close as possible to get as close to that 0.0 reaction time, and you can even go into the negatives a little bit.
Yeah, 0.0103 it is.
Yes.
Sorry, yes, 03. So we saw Emerson Hogan from Ivanhoe Swim down that second lap extend the lead. I believe it was Emmy McCrowan who turned in that third person, or maybe her sister Mika. The two McCrowan girls, great 50-metre sprinters. And we come down to their final swimmer, Hope Christian, who we saw have a stellar performance earlier tonight. She's trying to hold off that team in lane 2 from Yarra Plenty. It is Lucia Calderon in lane 2, trying to work her way back up alongside the Ivanhoe swim team. As we come down to touch, Ivanhoe takes out this second heat of 3, 159.59 ahead of Yarra Plenty Waves, 157.22. And the Essendon District Aquatic team touches in third at a 157.33 with Megan Lee, their final swimmer.
And here's where we will most likely have our medalists come from in heat 3 now, as we move on to the final heat of the 4x50 16 and under relay. I wonder, do you know if there's a rule about if you do one 4x50 relay for an age group, you can't double up? So let's just say you have a gun 14-year-old. Can they do back-to-back?
I believe that this competition you can do back-to-back, but it's a very big ask. It is a huge ask.
Introducing the final teams for event number 109, the girls 16 and under 200 metre freestyle relay. In lane 0, Western Melbourne Propulsion. In lane 1, Nunawading Swimming Club. In lane 2, Caulfield Aquatics. In lane 3, Surrey Park Swimming Club. In lane 4, Melbourne Swimming Club. In lane 5, Bayside Swimming Club. In lane 6, Melbourne Vic Centre. In lane 7, Melbourne Swimming Club, B. In lane 8, Camberwell Grammar Aquatic. And in lane 9, Surrey Park Swimming Club.
All right, about to reach the halfway point of our final of the timed finals. 4x50 metre freestyle relay, 16 and under girls. Absolutely neck to neck here. Bayside in lane 5, Melbourne Swimming Club in lane 4, and a sneaky little outside smoker in Camberwell Grammar from lane 8.
Yeah, Nana usually like to have their relays very top heavy. You want to start with your fastest. I believe it's the scared rabbit tactic. You want to scare the living daylight out of that last swimmer. Try and get a lead. Unfortunately, they're just a little bit behind right now, but try and get a lead and hopefully really pump the adrenaline of that last athlete to try and get up and perform as best they can. But it looks like it's going to be Melbourne and Bayside that are taking out these middle lanes. But Vic Centre is absolutely storming home with an athlete here. Could reach all the way to
Elizabeth
first.
Mack has just absolutely charged down this final leg, trying to chase down Hannah Dye, and Hannah just holds off for the Melbourne Swimming Club. One of the youngsters there. She is only, I believe, 12 years of age, bringing it home. Might have just turned 13. Don't quote me on that one. A 150.13 for the Melbourne swim team. Ahead of Melbourne Vic Centre. Great swim from E. Mack there, with Bayside in third.
Last swimmer from Vic Centre there might be my new favourite. She had her head down. She took her last breath at 12 metres out from the wall. She put her head down and really tried to grind out that win. Unfortunately, it looked like the Melbourne swimmer saw her coming, lifted again because, mate, Vic Centre had all of the momentum there leading down to that last 5 metres, but just did enough to get their hand on the wall. Moving on to the next event here, we've got event 110. Wow, it feels like it's not that long ago that I was talking about event 100, but event 110, it's now the boys' turn in the 16 and under 4x50 relay. And I'll tell you what, you know what I'm looking forward to the most? The big bow wave that will be following these athletes after the first 15 metres of the race before things start getting a little bit muddled up. These boys are big and ready to throw down. I look forward to seeing who can come out on top.
I know that you're looking forward to the bow wave. I'm looking forward to the pre-race cheers. You can hear those slaps. There's all of that electricity in the air. It is absolutely going to be a real showdown.
My favourite swimmer is the one that slaps themselves and they don't know why. They do it because they do it on TV.
Because everyone else does.
Because the big dogs do it. Because your Caleb Dressels of the world, your Florent Manadous slap themselves so hard that they've got hands all over their chest.
I mean, who wouldn't want to do what Florent Manadou does?
Yeah, he's an absolute icon of French swimming.
And an icon of the French Dancing with the Stars at the moment.
Is he on that?
As you can tell, Carly is a big fan.
Yeah?
I'm an avid follower of Florent Manadou. As we turn our attention back to the water, I mean, what incredible things are going on here. The Essendon swim team in lane 4. Massive, massive leads on the rest of the field here from heat 1 of 3. Keep an eye on the times. These are timed finals tonight. So any time that is in those top 3 is going to be eligible for a medal. They are speedy, 153.441. It's a 5-second drop. That means probably everyone in the team's gone about a second quicker than their personal best. What an improvement.
Jordan and I were wondering about this last night. How do they make these times? Is it just kind of like a witch throwing in some potions into a cauldron and hoping that she gets something at the end? How do the coaches come up with this seemingly obscure time at the end?
Do you know, we have this incredible system on Swim Central that actually takes each individual athlete's personal best and they do the maths for you. So as a coach, this is a real benefit. You can select, it automatically selects the best team from you, and then you can take out athletes who might not be racing at this particular event. So if you put in the age bracket, it will give you the fastest team. Then you might say this person isn't racing, this person isn't racing. It'll then import the next fastest swimmers, and that's an accumulation of their personal best.
See, here I was hoping that there were 2-hour meetings about who got to be in and out of relays, but it turns out it can be done with the click of a finger.
The tricky ones are when we come to those mixed relays and the medley relays, especially when you start taking away some of your athletes if they're not going to be competing at the competition. Then you start to get the cauldron out and put together those potions.
This is where I really enjoy some of these people here. We've got some of the girls right next to us. I'm not sure if you can hear it here at home, but they are absolutely screaming out for their athlete to try and get to the wall as fast as possible. These are the relays that we're talking about, help build the testosterone in some of these boys.
And also, it's really important to keep in mind the first leg of a relay, that time is eligible to be utilised for a national qualifying time. It's a normal race start, they finish correctly, and the split is eligible. So if you gain that qualifying time in your first leg, you can use that for nationals.
Yeah, it looks like he just missed out on the time there, the athlete, and so they were a bit disappointed. Yarra Plenty flying so far. Get into the water as fast as possible. Cheltenham there with the fastest split in second place. Moving up the ranks there. See how much they can do. It seems like it was a bit of a safe changeover because Surrey Park have already passed them.
And that's where that practice really comes into play for those changeovers. It is, or it can be quite hard to judge if you haven't seen certain swimmers racing in. Freestyle I find is a little bit easier, but when you particularly come to those medley relays, timing a breaststroker or a butterflyer, you really want to absolutely nail it, because if they take that extra stroke, you can be knocked out.
Exactly. The coaches usually say 90% of the responsibility is on the person in the water. Very rarely will an athlete intentionally go early from outside. What a swim here from Surrey Park. This is going to be one of the fastest of the meet. 25.77. Flying home there to get them the win. Swimming over the top of the two athletes from Nuttawading and Yarra Plenty, who both went 26s. As they say, not over until it's over. Absolutely stunning swim there. All the cheering on the side of the pool comes to an end as we get ready. We got a couple of slappers already. Lane 4 slapping himself. Lane 1's doing a bit of slapping, shaking the arms around. Get the blood flowing into those necessary muscles in order to swim fast.
And these boys certainly are doing that. The times from that second heat would have placed them into this top 10 already.
All right, here we go.
Introducing the final teams for event number 110, the boys 16 and under 200 metre freestyle relay. In lane 0, Bayside Swimming Club. In lane 1, Melbourne Swimming Club B. In lane 2, Caulfield Aquatics. In lane 3, Camberwell Grammar Aquatic. In lane 4, Melbourne Swimming Club A. In lane 5, Western Melbourne Propulsion. In lane 6, Nunawading Swimming Club. In lane 7, Surrey Park Swimming Club. In lane 8, Ivanhoe Swim, and in lane 9, St Kevin's College Swimming Club.
Just for those at home, I've just been slapping myself for the last 20 seconds. I'm in immense pain but full of adrenaline, so here we go. Let's get ready to race, ladies and gentlemen.
We saw some incredible relays at States from Melbourne Swimming Club, and I think tonight is no different as they are our leaders right now.
We talked about nailing those changeovers, and I think that one in particular was a prime example. The athlete on the block had started moving before the swimmer coming in was even close to the wall, because he knows the timing, and you know how quickly, especially 53, those arms are coming over. He had space to wiggle, and they've gone in first for their final leg, ahead of Nunawading, but not much. There is still that ability to chase them down this last lap.
See, it looks like we're going to have a great race here at the end. On that second changeover, you saw Nunna enter fourth, but come out second. Really build on that lead. But here we go, Melbourne down the middle. No one's catching them. No one's even getting close. They're going to walk away with the gold medal here. 24.06 on that last 50. Nunna sliding into second, but only just. And Caulfield in third position. Camberwell just missing out on the medal. Even getting within 0.4 of a second of second, but unfortunately even third was able to sneak somewhere in between the two of them.
Yeah, super tight for those minor placings here. And the men's 16 and under 4x50 metre freestyle relay. Next cab off the rank is going to be our mixed 200 metre freestyle relay. So this is sort of the event I was talking about, a little bit more challenging to select your fastest athletes. 16 and under, you can import from those 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, and it's mixed. So we have 2 males and 2 females. Interesting to note the different tactics. A lot of teams now choosing to go with their male athletes first, get that gain, get that lead, and as we talked about, scare everyone else with that advantage early on.
even then they found there's many advantages on the international stage. Some of these women, when you have to swim through all of that whitewash, it can make it really difficult on those first two legs. So you actually want to get out in front, not have to deal with any of that later on in the race. And even for the men coming later on, they might not be able to catch the women in front because they are swimming in their draft. And unfortunately, that's extra resistance that you just don't need on your body. So very interesting tactics here to start with some of the female athletes first. The only male athlete coming up in the next leg will be from lane 5 in propulsion. So you're hoping that they can potentially put a bit of gap on themselves. And the only male finishing on the last leg is from PLC. So let's see how interesting these tactics are going to play out.
I definitely think from these smaller clubs, you're probably going to see more of an assortment of styles of racing this. You can notice, and we have seen across the weekend, some of our junior athletes, the females are a little bit faster than the males if they aren't, you know, they haven't gone through that development stage. So they might be the ones leading us off because they do have faster times.
Now, for all those playing at home very quickly, the reason that athletes do slap themselves is to get blood flowing to those muscles. So anyone who was unsure and just goes, why is my kid just slapping himself? Or maybe if you've got a nice friend, they can do it for you. But that's the reason. They want to get blood flowing to those big muscles so you turn nice and red after you finish the slapping. Looks like lane 5, Propulsion, is going to walk away with this lead here. Finish on the wall nice and smoothly. 150.82. 152.56. Let's see how those times stack up against those swimmers in the last heat.
So into our top 10, our slowest qualifying team sits at the 151.44. So that 150 puts them around 8th or 9th. 9th is 150.31. We are looking for those top 10 finishes. We do have those point scores up for grabs.
Introducing the final teams for event 111, the mixed 200 metre freestyle relay. In lane 0, Westbourne Swim Club. In lane 1, Furbank Aquastars. In lane 2, Melbourne Swimming Club B. In lane 3, Melbourne Swimming Club A. In lane 4, Surrey Park Swimming Club A. In lane 5, Camberwell Grammar Aquatic. In lane 6, Surrey Park Swimming Club B. In lane 7, MLC Aquatic. In lane 8, Essendon District Aquatic. And in lane 9, Cardinia Piranhas Swim Club.
You're seeing almost immediately this wave that we were talking about. This male athlete out here in lane 7 can't get his wriggle on because he's having to swim through the waves that are coming in either side of him. Now, the only good news that they've got is hopefully they can have this female athlete make up a little bit of ground, and they're the only team finishing with a male athlete. Actually, I lie. I've just seen lane 0.
You were close. It is a bit of a challenge to notice across the pool, 10 teams in the water. It is Melbourne Swimming Club out in the lead at the halfway point ahead of Camberwell. And then sitting in third, we have Furbank. So it's the outside lanes, the ones to chase down.
Here we go. Right in the middle of the pool, lane 4, Surrey Park, got a dominant lead over the rest of the field. It looks like lane number 3, Melbourne, is going to just sneak into second, and there is a real battle for third here. Surrey Park B not giving in, having a real crack against Camberwell, putting their head down for this last 8 metres. I absolutely love to see it. Surrey Park got to the point that they were closer to finishing second than they were third. What a fantastic swim in the water there from their B team. First and third on the podium, and second going to Melbourne.
Yeah, great work from Skylar Hay there in the A team and Farida Taha in the B team to get the Surrey Park, both teams onto the podium ahead of Zara Jeffrey from Melbourne Swimming Club in second.
Moving on now to event 112, the girls 4x50. Is this a medley relay? Oh, here we go. This will be our only 2 medley relays of the night, these next 2 events. Everything else will be freestyle relays.
I love a medley relay. We can see the lead change so many times depending on the strengths within an individual club. Do you have a brilliant backstroker? Are you waiting for that breaststroker to hit the pool? They can make a really big impact. And then on top of that, we have already spoken about the importance of those changeovers. You can make up half a second quite easily in just a changeover. Away and racing with event 112. It's the 4x50 metre medley relay for 14 and under girls. Off to a very fast start there. Out of lane 5, the Camberwell team. They are leading the way down this first 50. First changeover, Camberwell 33.17, solid lead ahead of Sumland 36.10, and sitting in third, it's the team from CA Triton. So keep your eyes on the centre, but those outside lanes really pushing themselves into this race.
There's nothing I love more than relays and the parents getting up and about. We had one parent this morning absolutely screaming at her kid, trying to get him to the finish. Now multiply that by at least 100 people in the crowd and those down on pool deck as well. They will be absolutely off their chops trying to get their athletes into the final heat.
Halfway through, and Camberwell have just continued with that lead, absolutely doubling it from 3 seconds to 6 seconds ahead of CA Tritons, who still sit in second ahead of Westbourne. They are certainly the team to chase down here. Keep your eyes peeled on their final swimmer.
Safe changeover. Safe.
Come on, girls. Let's push the envelope a little bit here.
If I say it's a good changeover, there's a small chance you've been disqualified. That's what I want to see. I want to see these people.
Great changeover.
That's an outstanding changeover. You know they're really good when the whole crowd goes, ooh.
Ooh. But this race is certainly ooh as well. It's going to be a fantastic time from the team in lane 5. Camberwell there, 2:18.28. 2-second drop on their entry time ahead of Furbank, and then third will go to the team from Flyers, who really built their way through that race.
Unfortunately, just a slight malfunction there in the start, but these girls are ready to go. Outstanding start there from lane 3 in Essendon. Brilliant work from the underwaters there. And also a solid start out here on the edge for PLC. Good transition between the underwater and the swim speed.
Essendon looking very solid down this first 50. I believe that's Megan Lee, who's taken us out in a 31.56.
Absolutely flying out there. I really wish they could get this lane 4 touchpad to work. Unfortunately, they've just been missed a couple of times so far. Monstrous lead out here from Essendon in lane 3, getting up really high. That Christian Springer kind of stroke that we were talking about earlier in the program.
Yeah, Eve Lawrence in the water there. Tess Izzard over in lane 2 from Yarra Plenty Waves. She's starting to close that gap. I think they'll turn in second.
So many different starts here. Some people electing to step over the kicker at the back, other people 2 feet at the front. One of the boys earlier on just did a normal track start and he was the final leg of the relay. So there's so many different ways. What you want to do is make it as comfortable for you as possible, but you need to make it quick. So if it's not quick, you need to go back to the drawing board, find out what's quick, what's powerful, what gets you in the mood to swim as fast as possible. Very safe change over there from Essendon.
They've got a comfortable lead here out of lane 2. They just want to put together a solid performance. They've done just that so far. They're trying to hold off a fast approaching team from Ivanhoe Aquapower in lane 5. But also here comes the team in lane 4 from Melbourne and the Yarra Plenty Waves girls, who are trying to make their way through the field down this final leg. .208.70 the time from EDA there.
Now we get ready for the moneymakers in the final heat. These girls are the fastest entrants. We'll see how quick they can go. Lane 4 there, I feel like I recognise her. What was
looks like it's Zara Olawani in lane 4 from Nunawading. Zoe Clemenson in lane 5. Who else can I spot on Superstar Watch here? Always a little bit more of a challenge when the girls are facing away from you.
Introducing the final teams for event number 112, the girls 14 and under 200 metre medley relay. In lane 0, Western Aquatic Academy Swimming. In lane 1, Furbank Aquastars. In lane 2, Nunawading Swimming Club. In lane 3, Surrey Park Swimming Club A. In lane 4, Nunawading Swimming Club A. In lane 5, Melbourne Swimming Club. In lane 6, Bayside Swimming Club. In lane 7, Surrey Park Swimming Club B. In lane 8, Western Melbourne Propulsion. And in lane 9, Caulfield Aquatics.
outstanding start there from the backstroker from Nunawading. 30.53, dominating the rest of the field. 2 whole seconds she's given her lead to the breaststroker, and if she can extend on that, there's no catching them in the butterfly.
Yeah, Leona Loherman's here looking absolutely brilliant. She's not letting that lead go anytime soon as they exchange into their butterfly swimmer. Furbank remains in second place, and it's out in lane 9, the Caulfield team, who have just entered the water in third.
Best change over there clearly goes to the Melbourne athlete. They went in 5th. They're already well up to second. They had that covered after 15 metres. You've got to make sure that you're nice and quick off these blocks and generating that power with the extra arm swing that you can have.
Yeah, Zara Jeffrey, quite a lot of relays on the cards for her tonight, and we know she's such an incredible sprinter. She does get away off the blocks really, really well.
28.6, really try to bite into that Nuttawatting lead. Unfortunately, it's just going to be a little too late. But there is a good movement here from Nuttawatting. It looks like they're chasing a record at this rate.
This is an absolutely fiery swim.
We didn't see much of Nuttawatting last night, and now we can see why. Saving up for today, finishing in a 27.39, and the team has a 2:01.92, 3.5 seconds ahead of the Melbourne Swim Club, and very, very close for third there. Lane 9 sneaking in, Caulfield 2:07.6, half a second ahead of 6th place.
Yeah, that was a fantastic final 50. They really, really worked hard from the outside lane to come away with a little cheeky medal there. And we always love when it's a tight finish in these relays. You could hear the crowd going a little bit crazy, and it's only going to get louder as we progress through our final events for the evening. Just 7 races to go tonight, and I'm almost a little bit sad about it.
7 for the competition.
I know.
Oh, it's devastating. It's been such a good meet here, run by the officials and those in the front office of Swimming Victoria. Little slip there in lane 3. Just got to make sure his feet are nice and set. Up really high, had a bit of boing to his start there. So lane 1 there, we spoke about fast changeovers. Unfortunately got a bit too quick there. The team from Furbank Aquastars being disqualified there. But I'd rather they push the boundaries in those first relays, because it's only if you cost your team a medal that we really start caring about your start.
Or a time, you know, if your first swimmer has qualified for nationals and you do accidentally do one of those starts, it can be, you know, a little bit of disappointment, but I think we're all good here as our breaststrokers take down this pool in the 4x50 medley relay for men's 14 and under. We've seen a little bit of a lead change after the first 50 here. Ivanhoe Swim took us around in the 35.68. It's now Westbourne, their breaststroker, doing the hard yards as we come into the changeover.
Unfortunately, just a slight mix-up in the infraction report there. It wasn't lane 4 from Furbank. It was actually lane 8 from Swimland. Just pushing the start a little bit much. But speaking of Swimland, we got them in this heat. Westbourne look like they're going to take it out in this last 10 metres. Ivanhoe Swim in lane 3, really pushing them all the way to the end. But it is going to be Westbourne that finish with all of the boys in that last lap under that 30-second barrier. So congratulations to those young men. But 0.3 of a second, a bit closer than I thought it would be between Westbourne and Ivanhoe. We're about to move into Heat 2 of the 4x50 medley relay. Would like to say a massive thank you to our sponsorship partners. We have Mattioli, Beyond Bank, Mountain Shade, Auto Coach, and Funky Chunks and Swim Merch, all helping to sponsor this competition and letting us do what we do to help bring you the high quality racing that is happening here at this Metro Championships. And we'd like to thank all those involved and all those who are watching on either the YouTube live stream or on the KO freebies. We have a great start here from lane 4 in Ivanhoe Swim, the only team to get under that 30-second barrier for that first 50, and they're zooming down the middle of the field.
Some incredible breaststroke from that Ivanhoe team, creating even more of a lead right now.
Yeah, there's some good extension. Despite this being a 50, I actually like that you can see him get to the end of his stroke, the end of his kick, before he starts his stroke. It's very well timed, and it looks very clean as he hands over with a very safe changeover. 33.3 though, nothing to turn your nose up at. Slightly catching them was Essendon with a 33.1 on that lap. So those two teams look like they've really separated themselves from the rest. Nuttawatting B out there in lane 6 look to have third locked up unless something major happens in this freestyle. But the boys are trying to catch that team out in Ivanhoe Swim out in lane 4.
Yeah, I think Essendon might have them in this freestyle if they have a really nice leg at the end.
It's all about pushing those changeovers now. Unfortunately, this isn't the time to be safe. You really want to have a crack. It's a great underwater there by Ivanhoe, using all of that off the blocks.
Really nice freestyle from Ivanhoe. They've created that lead again, which is awesome to see.
It looks like Nuttawatting could take over second here from Essendon. But there's a beautiful, consistent kick there in Ivanhoe Swimming. I really like that technique from the young man. And a good finish on the wall, 27.21. Nuttawatting a 26.95. Nice and quick there.
Essendon still sneaking in with that third place position.
We'll see how these times match up against the next heat, where this will be the fastest heat. So we're expecting quite a few sub 2 minute times here. Final heat here as we just finish putting the backstroke wedges into the block. And hopefully all these athletes are happy with where they're sitting. We wait on the starter signal. A couple of boys down the far end have already started slapping, as we love to see.
It's happening.
The testosterone's flying.
Woo woo. Let's go.
Is that in lane 6? Is that Harry?
It is Harry McCraw.
Big meet so far. Unfortunately, a bit of movement from propulsion. We'll see if any action is taken there.
Really nice start there from Harry McCraw.
Come down to the final 15 metres of this breaststroke. Camberwell absolutely dominating the field so far. Looks like we're in for a big finish.
Solid breaststroke there by Quinn Richards for what we've come to expect across the weekend. Absolutely putting them into a flying position, and they continue to fly down this 50 like Ferraris. What an impressive effort.
With the F1 just around the corner, I can see the track from here.
And our final swimmers also just around the corner as the team in lane 3 from Camberwell comes down. They're still in the lead, just narrowly ahead of Melbourne in lane 6. The race is on.
That was a great changeover there from Camberwell. I think he got a bit of distance, but bursting through the pack here is Nuttawading, flying home in this last 15 metres. Put your head down, son, and go. All 4 swimmers wanting this medal. Final 5 metres, no one's taken a breath, no one's taken a backward step. It's first for Nuttawading in a time of 25.00. Second place goes to Camberwell and third to Melbourne Swim Club.
What an exciting finish. It's going to be tough for that team in 4th. There was nothing separating those top teams there. Very, very quick racing from the 14 and under boys in the 4x50 metre medley relay. As we turn our attention to the next event on the program, it's event 114, the women's 4x100 metre freestyle relay. And we've got 2 timed finals in this event tonight.
Huge controversy there. 2 teams disqualified. The team in lane 0 and unfortunately the team in lane, was it lane 2 or lane 3?
It was the team in lane 3, I believe, that had that DSQ come up alongside them, the Camberwell team. But we will wait and see. You can have protests as well if we maybe think there might have been a mishap. We will eagerly await those results. But the 4x100 metre freestyle for our women's are in the water. 3 teams very tight on this first lap between Ivanhoe Swim and Furbank. Propulsion looks like they were going for a 50 metre time down that first 50 because they've really switched off in this second lap. Trying to work out who their first swimmer was to figure out the age there. And then take a look over at the propulsion team to see whether they may have got that time.
Some close swimming here up with the first 2 girls. Looks like Ivanhoe Swimming is pulling away just a little bit in this first 25. But because it's a 4x100, it's not necessarily the splash and dash of those 4x50s. There are a couple more tactics that come into these 100s, and I know that all of my coaches that I had insist that you finish fast so that you can get your hand onto the wall for the next athlete to get in because they're already eager.
Yeah, it's certainly a difficult one to race, especially when you have that adrenaline pumping, particularly in that top 10. You really want to go out after it, but 100-metre swims, there's a lot of skill that comes into it. You know, if you push out that first 50 too much, you're going to be gassed in that last 10 metres. And I think that's something that Australia does really, really well, is we have some of the strongest back ends, that second 50 across the board. You look at Kyle Chalmers, he often turns in about last at those high-level events, like his gold from the Olympics. I think he turned in 7th.
Yeah, that's right around there, yeah. And the other one that's incredible at it, and probably our best relay swimmer that we have in Australia, Molly O'Callaghan. Back-end swimmer like you would not believe. She's incredible at it.
She has the best underwater off a turn that I think I've seen across the entire board.
Still got 150 metres to go here. So there's plenty of time to make up any distance for this team from Furbank. But Ivanhoe Swim.
Ivanhoe is really proving that they have some pretty strong relay teams tonight.
Or even more so, the fact that, Melbourne Propulsion actually, this is their B team. So then we've got a couple of B teams coming up. In the next heat, we got Melbourne Swim have got a B team, Surrey Park have got a B team, and Nuttawading all having B teams in this next heat. So we'll see how close they can get in this heat to the times needed in order to get a medal.
So we have just had confirmation that that silver medal winning team from before have been disqualified, which means that Caulfield team who come fourth, they move up into the medal position. So, you know, it's a bit of a roller coaster there of emotions when you feel like you've missed out and now they've been almost reinstated.
Yeah, see, as I was saying before, you want to push the boundaries on those starts, but unfortunately, when you're in medal position, you need to be safe.
But
Great
coming
finish there.
down
Sorry.
to touch. No, don't be sorry. Finishing very well is what I'm sure you're about to say. The team from Ivanhoe Swim, 4:12.42. Ahead of Furbank, 4:19.08. And Propulsion, they've tried to swim a really safe race. I saw their first athlete going after that time in the first 50. So all they needed to do was finish completely legally. No disqualifications on the board. Great job, girls.
Even though we can hear the feedback and, you know, you talking to me talking to you, I can still hear slapping. Even in the girls' races, there's slapping going on. Get fired up, ladies. This is the last meet of the week. Have a crack.
The women's 400-metre freestyle relay. In lane 0, DVE Aquatic. In lane 1, Melbourne Swimming Club B. In lane 2, Surrey Park Swimming Club B. In lane 3, Melbourne Swimming Club A. In lane 4, Surrey Park Swimming Club A. In lane 5, Nuttawading Swimming Club A. In lane 6, Western Melbourne Propulsion. In lane 7, Nuttawading Swimming Club B. And in lane 8, Yarra Plenty Waves.
Here we go, immediate screaming, Western Melbourne Propulsion absolutely tearing their athlete on, letting them know it's time to go, it's time to get moving. There must be a national time on the line or something like that. Yes!
I think they've certainly got something. The reaction from Western Melbourne Propulsion was huge, huge.
They loved it. I'm not sure what the time that they needed to get was, but I'm so glad you've changed your whole relay team just to get that one athlete, that one opportunity to get into the water and finally get their dreams of going to a nationals. I really hope that it was a national time that she got. It's going to be very embarrassing if the whole crowd was told the wrong time.
Look, the reactions tell me that, you know, there had to be something going on. You don't celebrate that much for your first swimmer unless there's something incredible. And to do it on night 3 finals, it's really that message of, like, never give up, never back down. You've got to always attack every time you hit the water.
I've always said it. Surrey Park here with the dominant lead over Nuttawading. 156 compared to a 159. Plenty of time to work with. Nuttawading with a lot of work to do, but in third place there you got Melbourne Swim Club, their A team, but Surrey Park is doing a lot of work to try and stay in this race and in those medals. This is what I'm talking about. You need to have those quick changeovers, but they do need to be safe. It's a bit of an oxymoron, but you really need to get close to having those feet leave the block when the hand touches the wall.
Alrighty, so we come down now. It's the changeover here. Surrey Park with a fairly comfortable lead over Nunawading. There is a good little fight going on for third, though, with the Surrey Park B team and the Melbourne Swimming Club. They'll be looking to pick up some more points.
That one got an ooh out of me. That was a good changeover. I really like that one from Nunawading there. Know that they've got a lead to try and chase down. They don't want silver. They don't want anything unless it's gold. It took a second out of the Surrey Park swimmer on that second 50 of the third leg. Let's see if their final swimmer can close down that 2-second gap. But it looks like Surrey Park are holding, if not extending, on that lead.
All right, so from Athlete Watch, I believe we have Skylar Hay in the water for Surrey Park. Looks like Alyssa Lever for the team from Nunawading, Maddie Cooper for Melbourne Swimming Club, and Judy Hussein Aman from Surrey Park. They're the ones who are really fighting for that bronze medal. It's going to be close. Maddie with the momentum. She's closing that gap stroke by stroke. It will be Surrey Park A. Skylar touches first, 3:56.67 ahead of Nunawading, and oh my goodness.
Oh, holy damn.
Wowee, what a finish. Surrey Park holds on for bronze. 6/100ths of a second. You couldn't ride it. It's a fingernail. It's absolutely nothing. A very exciting swim in the 4x100 freestyle for our women.
Ian Pope has been around the world to many competitions, but he was screaming at his athlete over there to just keep kicking. And I'm so glad that those girls remembered. Head down for the last 5 metres. Both of them gave it a crack. Left nothing out there to chance. Last event.
It's the final countdown. We are on. There are only 2 races left in our men's 4x100 metre freestyle relay. If you thought you heard slaps before, wait till this top 10 teams enter the water.
This is absolutely going to be stunning. Lane 5 out there has started like a house on fire. My word. Really quick, 25.61 on that first 50. Could we be on track for a 52-second swim here? Are they going for the final medal without actually being in the final heat?
Now, I wonder, based off surnames, that's all I've got here. If this is Ewan Smith, he did an incredible 100 breaststroke earlier tonight, swimming for Furbank. We look to the time. Good changeover, 52.60. Ahead of Rowan Wine, 56.37. Nothing to be sneezed at as the Yarra Plenty team goes in second and Propulsion sits in third.
As we approach the halfway mark here, Furbank still with a commanding lead over Yarra Plenty there. 30.00 for his second 50 there, the kid from Furbank. As we have our second to last swimmers in the pool. Very aggressive kick on the back of the Furbank athlete here. Yarra Plenty right up on that lane rope, trying to catch some of that drag. You want to ride that wave into the turn here, get yourself some momentum and get the team feeling good, like they can actually chase down this lead.
Yeah, look, he's certainly going to get mad at me about the pronunciation of his name, but the swimmer in lane 4 from Yarra Plenty Waves is Troy Athanasiou. He has done a ripper job down that first 50. Really, really aggressive on that stroke rate down the first lap. Frantically throwing those arms over as he comes down this final 50 to try and close the gap on Furbank.
And he's done just that. He took 0.7 out of him in that first 50 and a whole second out of him in that second 50. The kid from Furbank here, the biggest kick that I have seen so far of any athlete here. Half of his leg is coming out of the water. You wonder if he's going to blow too much energy too early. Can Yarra Plenty make their move after that?
Yeah, Thomas Dale in the water for Furbank. Archie Bonga from Yarra Plenty Waves as they come down to turn. It is still the Furbank team. They got out and away very, very fast early on. They've been trying to hold off this attack from Yarra throughout this entire 400. They look like they've got enough left in the tank to do it.
Yeah, I think Yarra Plenty are making a bit of a move, but unfortunately it is just too late. Furbank, especially with that 52.6 to start, it'll be hard to chase them down. Can they finish here first in at 347.4? Big splash, letting the team know, get up and about. Boys, get on my hair. I'm ready to go.
And speaking of ready to go, look at this lineup we've got here behind the blocks for our final event of the evening.
Listen to the slapping. Lane 6 isn't giving it up. Calves, chest, lats, more lats, more triceps,
Joshua
biceps.
Wilkinson is going to love this. That's him out in lane 6. Aiden Gleeson in 7. We've got Felix Dressel de Bruyne swimming out of lane 4 very fast on that first lap. Keep an eye on him. Daniel Savidarisi in 3. I think it's Connor Hayes in 2. Maybe Cooper Rushmeyer over in lane 0.
15, the men's 400-metre freestyle relay. In lane 0, DVE Aquatic. In lane 1, Western Melbourne Propulsion. In lane 2, Surrey Park Swimming Club B. In lane 3, Surrey Park Swimming Club A. In lane 4, Melbourne Swimming Club A. In lane 5, Nunawading Swimming Club A. In lane 6, Melbourne Swimming Club B. In lane 7, Nunawading Swimming Club B. And in lane 8, Ivanhoe Swim.
This is it. We're getting fair income. Everyone's waving their athletes on. We want national times in the final event of the final day here. Melbourne Propulsion, who are they screaming at? Athlete in lane 1, it goes silent. Oh, he's just missed it. I don't know what he's missed. I don't know who it is, but he's just missed it. Unfortunately, he's a bit devastated. Now we have to look to the rest of the field. Who is that Nunawading?
Out in lane 7, that was Aiden Gleeson making his return to swimming. Just out of retirement a few months. Pretty heavy involved into water polo over the last few years. Exo Park swimmer, I used to train with the lad. Lovely guy. Good to see him really competing well.
Well, he's got some wheels on him. 52.45. He's definitely not mucking around. We got Riz Mitt here in lane 7, holding on to that lead. We know he's a good 100 butterflyer. Riley Mitchell, he goes 56 for the 100 fly, so he's a powerful athlete. Let's see him finish here into the flags.
Yeah, he's chased down by Bart Horowitz and George Huang in Melbourne Swimming Club and Surrey Park. They were stroke for stroke down that last 10 metres. And sitting in 4th is the Melbourne B team. Jacob Matushka there, touching in 4th.
That was excellent technique on the dive from the swimmer from lane 7, Nunawading. Did you see the form he had into the water? He looked like an arrow, absolutely flying. Great technique on the young lad. I wonder if Nunna have tactically put their actual A team out in lane 7 and said, hey, we're gonna stay away from you guys here and we're gonna do our own thing. We're gonna lead from the front out in lane 7. Hopefully you don't see us.
I think something else Nunawading likes to do sometimes is enter really similar speeded teams. But this Nunna team is flying. They are flying.
And speaking of Nunawading, we got Josh Hargraves, the 27-year-old, about to jump in the water in lane 5. Nunawading with a commanding lead, coming back in 27 in that second 50. Great swim there from the boys. And it is all going their way in the final race of the day.
Yeah, they are well out in front now. We've got our athletes in lanes 4 and 3. The Melbourne Swimming Club versus Surrey Park. There's not a lot, about half a second between those boys, so keep your eye on them. The minor medal still up for grabs, but that gold is just stretching ever and ever so much further away.
Unfortunately, a bit of a messy turn there from Surrey Park. Hopefully that doesn't cost him too much. He's staring straight into his soul, saying, I want you. I want to try and chase you down here. There's half a second in it. Unfortunately for Surrey Park, it looks like Melbourne are going to take it out, and Nunawading are going to waltz into a lead here, 3 minutes 30, dominating the rest of the field, both second and third finishing with 3:34s. Jossie Hargraves ambling into that finish with a 30.3 on his last 50. We love seeing all different ages in this open age group 4x100 relay. But ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's all she wrote.
What another fantastic night of finals we have had here to conclude and wrap up the 2025 Victorian Mattioli Metropolitan Championships. 3 days of intense, fast racing, 3 days of incredible atmosphere, and we have had an absolute blast. Thank you so much to my co-commentators tonight, Elliot Rogerson, Tegan Mills, and to my other commentary team across the weekend. We thank you so much for your time. Big shout out to the team at Swimming Victoria for all the work you do, our technical officials, of course the incredible team at Big Voice Media. You make us look so great. We are very thankful to you guys, to KO Freebies, to our YouTube stream and all of our viewers. We look forward to seeing you at our next competition.